Hey, welcome to Full 42. We're here. Wow, I made the camera too small. We're here we go. Slowly rising. There we go. That's the way you start a show.
That's good.
We're here with Eric Lang. And we have a top 5 he doesn't know about, which is fun. And we're doing a lightning round, hang out for a little while, hang out like friends, talk. How's it going, Eric?
Going very well. It's going great. How are you guys doing?
Great. Mine is my internet just deciding to shit the bed just before showtime.
Yep, technical difficulties on that side this time. Normally it's half and half really. Sometimes it's
it's usually me, but this time, and I sent Chris proof. It literally wasn't like just not connecting. It was like no internet. Like awesome, super exciting. But yeah, other than that,
we live in times, don't we?
The what?
We live in times, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Hey, Andrew. Hey, peeps. Good to see everybody.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yep, do your thing. What do you have?
Oh, yeah. The like it. Hold on, I got a button for that, right?
Yeah, there should be a banner there.
A button for that. There we go. Big old button, like and subscribe.
I subscribe right now. Do you? Can you guys throw me a link so I can?
I put it in the private chat for you.
Oh, you did. Oh, thank you.
Yep. And I should hit a button to let other people know about it. There we go. And Mike, I'm sure you already did your due diligence.
I shared on Friday.
So okay.
I didn't bombard anybody today with anything.
Like I said, we have a top 5 for you, Eric, and we haven't told you what it is, and that I believe that was your request.
It was my request.
Throw it at you. I thought that was a wonderful, just like take it easy, confident request from you. So
what it was I've been in hype mode like all year, and which I love. I've been going to conventions and doing interviews with, like, sort of doing the press junket thing, which is awesome. I do like it, but I'm like, I really miss the old days of like just going on, talking shit with my friends. For other, like, for essentially an audience of our peers.
Right. Just a bunch of friends hanging out is really all we wanted for the show, and it's been great.
Yeah.
So I think I missed a few people as they came in, but hi to everybody. Thanks for commenting, jumping in. I'll pop you up whenever I see you.
See a lot of everybody in a couple of days, actually.
That's right.
Yeah. Dave and Di there. Eric, Andrew, probably Andrew Wolf, I would assume, is going to be there. Maybe.
He's in the chat. You can ask.
Andrew just told me he's not going to be there.
Oh, okay.
I've never made it to Origins.
Yeah, I tried to get you there.
Yeah.
Someday. Eric, you're going, yeah?
Oh, I'm going, but Origins, to be very honest, it's a for me con. Like I go there to be a gamer, and I love it. Like this year I'm doing a little bit like of guesty type stuff, but for the most part I'm just going to go hang out, actually do a game con the way I like doing game cons.
Yeah, Origins is a good one. It's big enough where it still feels like you're at one of those like industry type conventions.
That's right.
It's small enough where you're not. There is hustle and bustle, but it's not too much. You can actually talk to people not only on the show floor but afterwards. It's like it just feels like a good show.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like totally FOMO if you're missing, like, oh no, I didn't do all the things, right? Like it's like Gen Con is basically FOMO the con. I apologize, everybody. I gotta wipe my glasses off real quick.
That's fine.
I like that FOMO the con.
FOMO Gen Con. Oh yeah, 100%. And like, I also should temper it a little bit. Like I'm sort of a spoiled brat, and I'm like, oh, Gen Con, there's so much going on. It is still a great con.
Yep.
I think I would enjoy it more as a gamer than as a professional. It's a lot.
It is.
I've never been to Gen Con not working it.
Me
on
neither.
Some level. Yeah.
Me neither. And this is show number. I've been going since it was in Milwaukee. Well, I guess that's not that long. Like, I think this is not like my 21st, 22nd, something like that.
Oh wow. Yeah, I remember the first time I went, I volunteered Like I had just gotten into the industry, like for the hobby, not even an industry, and I volunteered to be in a booth. And if I didn't have that home base, I was just talking to somebody over the weekend about it. If I didn't have that home base to go to, I would have been so overwhelmed with what was going on outside of that 20 by.
Right.
Oh my God, with the backpacks and the people in the hallway, like just trying to get to the bathroom was a 45-minute adventure. I felt like a hobbit. It was awful.
Yeah.
It's got to be an adventure to be untethered, though. You know, you could just kind of wander about as you will, because whenever you work it, I mean, depending on how you're working it, but I'd be demoing in booths and stuff like that. So I would get maybe an hour or two off and go, well, I can eat, or I can go look around, or, you know, and then of course you get the hour before and stuff like that. So it's going to be nice.
Imagine that break you're describing, but the whole con.
Yeah.
Right. And so that point, like, because like, I mean, between us, like at Gen Con, right, during that 1 hour, if you're lucky that you get off, like, are you really going to go look around the whole hall, or are you just like brain exhausted?
Well, the first day you will
do it in an hour. There's no way you can do it in an hour. You might get a couple rows in, but then I mean, if you're there for all 4 days, then you really have 4 hours. You might get half the hall, but you're not really demoing the new shit. It's crazy.
Yeah. But I will say, Origins last year was my first one that I went to just as a gamer, and I loved it for that reason, which is why I'm doing it from now on. Nice. And I loved, like, you think, especially when you've been doing this as long as we have, I thought like, oh my God, maybe my love of cons is dead. Like maybe it's gone. Maybe I can't do this anymore. Like just as a gamer. 2 hours in Origins, it was like, nope. It was like going to the doctor. It was great.
Yeah.
I always thought for Gen Con, I guess because I worked it, my favorite part is when the con stops and then you get to hang out with all the friends that are also working booths and people that you know and stuff and play games and stuff. But that's why I usually prefer the conventions that are just gameplay, you know, 5 days or 4 days of just sitting there playing games and stuff. But
like BGG Con.
Yeah, exactly.
One of my favorites. Both of them. I actually like both of them very much.
Oh, the spring one?
Yeah.
I only went to the first spring one, which I think it was BGG Family then.
Right.
And then they changed it to spring the next day. But
And they should have, I mean, they could have kept calling it BGG Family because that's what it feels like.
Right.
And that's why I like it. It's a totally different vibe from November Con. So you can enjoy both of them without feeling like you just went to the same con twice.
Yep. Yeah. Well, we digress, and I think that's going to happen a lot. It's going to be a theme. That's fine.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you all, like you're getting my full-on ADHD tonight. Like,
awesome.
Let's go down all the rabbit holes.
But I will pull us into certain parts to hit anyway, because I want to get to, well, first of all, we got to do our announcements, boring part, blah, blah, blah. My announcement is that I won't be here next week, so I don't know what Mike's going to do. We haven't talked about it.
I'm totally fucked. I didn't even think about it.
Great. So enjoy that, whatever he comes up with.
That'll be fun. It'll be something to do with Origins. I don't know. I'll pull something together. Whatever.
Cool. So come back to see whatever he pulls together. And I know we have a Luca painting to show off. And anything else you have, Mike? And of course, if Eric you want to announce anything.
No, just my birthday is Wednesday, so come say happy birthday to me at Origins.
Happy birthday.
8/27. Yep. Your birthday was Saturday, right?
Yep.
So yeah, if you're in Origins, I know I'll see Eric, but come say happy birthday. 8/27 I'll be at. Eric will be wandering around as a gamer.
That's right. I mean, I'm doing some guest stuff this year. They have a section. I actually don't know where it is, but there's a section at I think it's in the hall where you can go meet designers. And now I've been told they had this before, but I never saw it last year. But there will be a bunch of us there. Like I know I'll be there. Elizabeth Hargrave will be there, and like other like. So basically, me and a bunch of real designers are going to be there, and you can hang out with.
Nice. Cool. So Luca painting. I don't know. Have you shown these to Eric at all?
I don't know if Eric knows about them. No. I don't even know if you know, but my son is 2.5, and he's been watercolor painting on canvas. Started with a 3x3, and he's now on a 4x4 since 2 Decembers ago. And every Monday since he started, I've been showing off a painting. So we kind of look at it as a Rorschach test, like what the hell's wrong with us? What do you see in this picture, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're multicolored and they're bonkers. Sometimes he does a lot of one color. He likes doing one color, and then he puts them on the easel and says he's done. He's been naming them lately, which is really cool. So every Monday we do one, and this is today's.
So tell us in the chats what you see. Oh, that's a cool one. Or I instantly have something, but I want to hear what other people see too.
Wait, are we like playing Dixit here? Because
sort of. You're
got like answers.
You're saying what you see, and it's a Rorschach test almost.
Oh, sure.
Like, what do you see?
Oh, sure. So this is like a, this is almost like a Vangelis. Like it's like it's the tree of life, but in the shape of like Odin going roar. Right now you can't unsee it, can you? Like he's perfectly posed. Like you got the wisps of cloud and thunder going by. You just need some lightning going on. Hell, it's even coming out of a cloud.
I saw almost exactly the same thing, like a giant, like godlike or goddess-like thing coming out of the cloud, doing that kind of motion. Yeah.
Right. So I mean, also I got blood rage on the brain lately, because I'm on another sprint. So like I'm seeing metal like everywhere. That's awesome though. I love it.
Yeah, I'm doing Greek stuff, so I'm seeing like Zeus or something.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
Being asked if you could flip it.
No, Joe, you can't.
A flower of the sandstorm. I like that one.
Interesting.
Gin coming out of the lamp.
Yeah,
oh yeah.
Yggdrasil, absolutely.
Yeah.
I saw it as a combo between the world tree and like turning into
Chinese lung dragon.
Tunmei Lung.
Snowboarder or genie. Those are two very different things.
I mean, either that or it's a Hollywood pitch. It's snowboarding genie.
Snowboarding genies. That'll be.
I don't know what's up.
Angry Yeti. A lot of genie vibes. A lot of gin.
Yeah, definitely. It's got that. That's definitely got that vibe.
Yep. Lake Ludo.
Oh, I don't know that one. A genie NATO.
Part 5.
No.
Part 5.
I think there are that many Sharknadoes, right?
There are.
I just kind of lost track after 2 or 3. I saw parts of the first one. And I was like, okay, I get it.
It's actually, I just learned there's a little bit of a back and forth between the Sharknado team and Deadpool. At one point, Deadpool is breaking the fourth wall, and he says something about what Sharknado are we on now? And I haven't watched it, but in the last Sharknado, they actually I guess they're way in the future, and they say what Deadpool are we on now? So they actually had a little crossover.
Nice. Like a little diss track going on the side. I love it.
Yeah.
Game Lake. Is that the lake he was talking about?
I don't know. But Game Lake sounds like a cool place to go.
Oh, Lake Ludo. Oh.
Lake Ludo is
Ludo
Game
means
Lake,
yeah,
right?
Game Lake. Oh. Nice. Oh, I like that one. What did he name it?
So I just got in this week the bits to proof for the next game that's coming out, Canvas Critters. And it's got a whole bunch of basically animal shapes to it, rhinos, and it's got a fox and a bunch of stuff. And one of them is a whale tail. And he was playing with all of them, and he painted 3 of the things. And this happened to be he named it whale. I said, what is it? He goes, it's a whale.
Okay, I could see that.
Oh, yeah. So this was on June 13th, by the way. So, yeah, he did the whale tail. So, that was the bottom of it touching the table, and that was it's going back and forth.
Eric, he has hundreds of these. I've told him he needs to tile a wall or something.
Oh, absolutely you do.
Yeah. I'm somewhere around 300.
Like your game room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would
yeah,
be
the
cool.
only thing, I would have to take them off the thing, though.
We could get creative.
We could.
Do you have to?
I mean,
Can't you use them as tiles? Put them on the ceiling.
Especially if they're all the same size. Like, I mean, come on. Like, this is now an interior decorating channel.
Yeah.
Who wants to talk about games?
Yeah, they are. I mean, he did about 24 or 30 of the 3x3s, and he's been, other than a couple 8x10s, he's done exclusively 4x4s for the past, better part of 2 years. So
There you go. It's an accent wall.
definitely should be. It should be. I don't want to ruin them though. Somebody said like put them together and glue them and like Mod Podge them, and I'm like, I don't want to do that because what if they get ruined?
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Yeah.
Here's my counterpoint though. They're probably more likely to get ruined eventually, like over the long term, if they're like all separate in a box somewhere, right?
True. That's true.
Look at this. We're just hanging out and I've already turned into feedback douchebag guy.
Yeah. No, you're right. They probably could get ruined.
You're doing your own hobby wrong.
Oh, I got this for Father's Day. I don't know if it'll translate well.
Oh, wow, that's
Right?
cool. I didn't know they could do that in glasses. That's your kids.
Yeah, a little whiskey glass.
That's really nice.
Isn't that cool? The detail on it
At
definitely.
2 years old, they really get you good gifts. So
I know, right? They know exactly what I need. The detail in this is I don't know if it really comes through, but you can see the letters on Mika's shirt, like really crisp. And that's Luca's. Like you can read what it says. The leaves on the palm tree. I mean, it's the detail is ridiculous. Yeah.
I have to ask. Is this whiskey or grape juice?
This is straight whiskey. This is Old Forester 100. I got it at Gamma.
Okay.
This is the rest of the bottle, actually.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great to drink.
Yeah, definitely whiskey. It's phenomenal. I mean, it's 100 proof, so it's got a little bit of a sting, but it's one of the better ones I've had.
very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so after the painting here, I do have. Has he warned you about the lightning round?
Yes. Well, I mean, it's the same lightning round you usually do, right?
Right. Yep.
Yeah, I'm in.
Okay, good. So, although a few of the questions have changed recently, so that's always
Cool.
fun. I like to go in and mix them up a bit.
Sure. I didn't go study it anyway. Like that's
Okay.
way more fun being surprised.
I just got
Who
a
would?
cheat sheet.
I don't even know all of them on here at
Are you
this point.
kidding? I went and bought the magazine with all the best strats. Right, left, right, up, down, left, right.
Mm-hmm. BA start.
Let's see. I have to hit a button to make sure that we see it. There we go.
There
All right.
it is.
So, for those of you who haven't seen this before, this is our lightning round. We're going to ask him a this or that question, yellow or red path. And as he goes down the path, he's going to basically make his own little tree, his path down to the bottom. And at the bottom is a fictional character that scientifically you are very much like.
Cool. Are we gonna have a rap battle at the end of it?
You and Mike. I'll judge it.
Well, can I do like a diss track about like how I'm actually not like that character?
You can absolutely.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Of course, it's all very scientific, so you're arguing against science. You wouldn't want to do that.
I will argue against science. I walked 25 minutes across this flat Earth to get here.
Yeah, Chris, make sure you go.
You have to watch me.
Yellow, don't screw up this time.
You'll tell me this, and then I'll start going that, and you gotta watch me.
Okay.
Chat keeps me honest.
Mm-hmm.
Euro or American games? It's an old
And
timey.
I have to pick one.
Yes.
God damn it, American, but reluctantly. I don't like that dichotomy.
Oh, I don't either, but I like to make people do it. Sci-fi or fantasy?
Fantasy.
Ooh, that was quick. Superman or Spider-Man?
Spider-Man.
Wow. Telekinesis or telepathy?
Telekinesis.
Talk to people. Listen to brain.
There's enough going on in here. I don't want what's your.
Have to end every meeting with "I love you" or start every meeting with high fives?
Oh, I gotta end every meeting with "I love you" because that would be so awkward so often and fun.
At least with that one, you get to do the awkward thing and then leave, versus the high fives,
Nice.
and then you're sitting in the meeting for a while, right?
Oh, I see. I didn't even think about that. I'm just thinking about like sitting at like some investment meeting like with Tencent or something like that. Like, and you sign off like, all right, we've hit our KPIs, and I love you. That'd be great. You
If
kind
you
of tap
remember,
dance on the way out.
Love it.
I did go the right way, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotta watch me.
Eric,
Speak any language or speak to
Speak to
animals.
animals.
You must watch every show others recommend or never see recommended shows.
Never see recommended shows. Sorry, time is limited.
It's true. Small neck tattoo or full ass tattoo.
Oh my god.
What the fuck?
That's a new one.
Wow. I'm too chicken shit to get a tattoo, so I guess I'd have to get a full ass tattoo. Just like no exposure. I guess unless we're in like Lisbon or something. I don't know, but
Is that like one ass cheek and full, or like both?
Full, the whole moon.
wait. Sorry, Googs. What difference does it make?
Well, I mean, a full tattoo rather than like a small neck tattoo. If you get a full tattoo on your ass, are
But
you getting it
small
on
neck
both
tattoo,
sides
everybody's
of the
gonna
crack,
see.
or are you getting it on one side of the crack? It can still be a full tattoo, just on
You
one.
are such
one
a gamer.
butt.
Like I'm not gonna wear half assless chaps, so it doesn't matter.
I mean, if you're gonna wear assless chaps, you gotta go full. How do you can't half-ass it, Eric?
All right. Yeah, full ass, team full ass. That's me.
Awesome.
That's a weird one.
Donatello or Raphael in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Well,
Scarabs or dragonflies?
Dragonflies. Dragonflies are awesome.
We've seen this one a few times
I like that dragonfly question, though. That was good.
because this one leads you to Samwise Gamgee.
Oh,
Interesting.
So what do you think?
I mean, all right. Is this where we like self therapy our way through this?
You don't have to if you don't want to, but
Huh. Well, okay. So, I have a colorful point of view on the world, I guess. And so, like, to me, like, if you have to sum up Samwise Gamgee in one word, it's paladin.
Paladin?
Paladin.
Interesting.
That's how I see the character.
I always thought paladins were a little more forceful of their beliefs.
The closer we get to real life, maybe yes, but but like in the idealized paladin, right? And so what I mean by that is like a paladin in his conviction and in the and the fact that he's got essentially no ego. I guess I think I have probably more ego, and I'm probably not as good.
That sounds like something Samwise Gamgee would say.
Oh my god!
Nice.
Samwise is awesome. I mean, and here's the thing. Oh, all right. Do we want to start our cancelable takes right now? I'm a Tolkien nerd. I'm a Tolkien fan. I mean, I've read the whole trilogy several times, many times. I liked Fellowship of the Ring, the movie, better than the entire trilogy written, like significantly.
Oh wow!
I liked it as an experience.
Huh?
I haven't heard anybody say that, but first of all, I haven't read the books because I started trying to, and I'm very particular in what I can stick to as far as reading stuff. I read all the time, but I have to find the right writing voice, and it was just too wordy. I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't stick to it. With the movie, so I have to agree, but I haven't actually read the book, so I kind of agree.
No worries, and like can I offer you here's a perspective to look at that maybe you might be able to enjoy the books, thinking of it this way. Maybe. if you ever care to try to go back and check it out. Like if you're like, oh, I want to see the classics again, read Middle Earth read the Lord of the Rings trilogy as a hero's journey, as a character driven hero's journey, where the main character is Middle Earth. So they're your point of view character. If you reread it that way, you might actually enjoy. Which is it makes a lot of stuff click into place, right? Like why they dwell so much, like why the songs are so important, why the endless descriptions and the endless poetic descriptions of the of landscapes and how they change. Like Middle Earth is the only character in the book that in the books that meaningfully changes. I would argue not even Frodo meaningfully changes. But anyway, sorry. Now I'm nerding out on Lord of the Rings. God damn it! This is a game show.
This is a show for nerds and geeks, so
Yay!
That's
nerds
fine.
and geeks. And it's kind of a hot take. But I mean, I got hot takes for days if you want to.
Hot takes? You have hot takes?
Hot takes for days.
I don't know if it really is that contentious, at least as far as like, I meet a lot of people that love the movies so much and love the books. And when I start pressing them about how many times have you seen the movies, how many times you read the books and all that stuff, I think they kind of just want to say what you just said, but are a little bit afraid of saying it. That the movies are...
It's fandom, right? Like who the fuck cares about your opinion on a, like, oh God, do we want to talk about Star Wars?
I mean, we kind of like Star Wars a little bit, right?
Do we want to lose everybody in the chat?
Probably lose everybody. Well, before we lose everybody,
It depends on what you say. You might lose some people in the video here.
Uh-oh.
Yep. Helena said hello.
Hi, Helena.
Hey, Helena.
Oh, Helena came in right before Eric got canceled.
Right. Helena came in right for the assless chaps and the butt tattoo. That's when Helena came in.
That's right.
She was on the show a couple weeks ago, and she's right. It was a completely different show.
Yeah. Hashtag quality content.
Alan is giving you some love from Costa Rica.
Oh, hey, Alan. Costa Rica is, well, okay. I can't. I'm not gonna lie because I haven't been there, but I've watched a lot of YouTube travel videos about how cool it is, and it's my favorite climate, and of course the food. Oh.
What is the climate like there?
Tropical rainforest, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
Beautiful there. Alan is coming. If you do make it down from Toronto, Alan will be at QSCon in September.
I hope to. So far, yeah. We're unfortunately, my calendar goes in 3-month chunks, right? And so I can't really start planning for September until next month.
Yep.
Oh my God! Oh,
literally, it's 3 months. 3 months away. Wednesday. QSCon is 3 months away. It freaked me out today when I had to make a post about it.
Wow! You just made my ass tattoos itchy. Like,
wait! You're getting a QSCon ass tattoo?
I mean, that's what Samwise Gamgee would get, apparently.
Yes, I would assume so.
I feel like I wish we had previews because that would be the sound bite.
I mean, we could bookmark it and do it for later. You said something about dragonflies. I was at the zoo this weekend for Father's Day, and they have dragons now. Dragons are at the zoo, and there's these big, huge things that are touring from May through August, September, something like that. And one of the dragons that they had there, this thing, the picture is not going to do it justice. It's huge. It was gigantic on this little pedestal.
Oh, wow.
But the detail of it was really magnificent.
I love dragonflies.
Me too. They eat wasps.
And mosquitoes.
Yeah, mosquitoes too.
We have them all over our yard right now because we have a bunch of mosquitoes. So I love them.
The ice dragon. This was me and Luca. We saw an ice dragon.
Ooh.
Ice dragon?
Yeah, they had an ice dragon.
Nice. I mean, because why not? Why not an ice dragon?
They had wyverns and They had a friendly dragon that was telling you stories. It was interesting.
What kind of zoo is this?
The zoo in
Googs,
Syracuse.
Googs, I hate to do this to you. Actually, it's wyverns.
The wyvern? Oh.
I've always said wyvern too.
I know. I know it could actually be, but I couldn't resist the opportunity to be actually guy.
Okay.
But I've actually heard it pronounced by scholars, by scholars of mythology as wyvern.
Wyvern. That's going to change everything I read now.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally.
Okay,
Well,
so you were about to say something about Star Wars. So
but did you know that I am the Canadian national champion of Wyvern, the collectible card game?
Oh, real? I haven't played that.
Yeah, because I beat the other guy.
There was only two of you?
Oh, no.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Yeah, I actually really like the game. The designer, by the way, Mike Fitzgerald, he should make every top 5 list of underrated designers. That dude is amazing.
He was your co-designer on, was it Dice Masters?
No, that's Mike Elliott.
Elliott.
Mike Elliott is amazing in very different ways.
Right.
No, actually, they are about. I was going to say they're about as different as you can get, but not really. No, Mike is. If you ever get to meet, I'll introduce you to the show. Mike is just like, he's I don't know. He's gonna hate that I say this, but he's got just adorable grandpa energy. And he was a radio guy, so he's got that radio voice, right?
Yeah.
And he's really, really articulate, really passionate, and really, really opinionated. But he knows his shit.
Yeah. He was the designer on Diamonds, right?
Yes, it's Diamonds. Yeah. Mystery Rummy is what he's best known for in gaming circles, but he designed Wyvern, TCG, X-Men collectible card game for Wizards. He designed sorry, I'm nerding out here, but Mike's great, and he should get more shout outs. He designed also, do you remember there was a WWE card game, a collectible card game, and a WCW Nitro card game? This is 90s, everybody. Afterwards, I'll tell you what Christmas was like in the 40s. He designed this one system. It's a really good system, very elegant little system for W collectible card game. And then, he designed it for Nitro for Wizards, and then Comic Images took the design and made their own thing. And there was a lawsuit between the two, but those two games coexisted for quite a while. Same designer.
I remember that. Yeah, I met him at Dice Tower. Well, when it was Dice Tower Con, I met him, talked to him for a while. I got a conversation. It looks like I'm totally enthralled with whatever he's saying, but there's a picture of me talking with him. He was fascinating to talk to, but yeah.
He's a great speaker. Yeah, exactly right.
You know who I love, not as a speaker, but just to have a conversation with, and who is just an uber friendly guy, Richard Borg.
Oh, so do you want to know a tidbit about Richard Borg?
I would love to.
He's gonna hate this. So Richard Borg. So do you all remember from the late '90s the Decipher collectible card game, the Star Wars collectible card game by Decipher?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the really complicated one with the flow of the Force and anyway, the game was very complicated, but the really clever mechanic at the heart of it, the flow of the Force, the way that your deck flows into your hand, into your discard pile, and into your life force. It was the first game to do that. Richard Borg designed that engine.
No kidding.
Uncredited.
Oh, wow. Huh.
I'm trying to look it up.
That's really
There's
cool.
so many Star Wars collectible card games.
It's the very first one. The very first one from the late 90s. Or mid 90s, actually.
Huh.
So you pressed my special interest button, man. That's collectible card games I could talk about for days.
I love it. I sat down with him at Dice Tower, same where I met Mike Fitzgerald, and he was doing a little mentorship thing. This is super, super early, and you got 15 minutes to talk with him about your design kind of thing. We went an hour and a half. We just got into it, and all of a sudden he caught himself. He's like, "Oh shit, I got to be somewhere. What time is it?" And we had gone so far into it, and it was a great, awesome experience.
Yeah, he's the real deal.
Yeah, I love him.
He's real deal. And you notice, like a fair number of these, I don't want to call them the old guys, but we are. I mean, we're all kind of old guys, but like his generation, a lot of the really good designers in that generation are really down to earth and humble.
Yeah.
And super approachable. The first time I met Mike Gray, who's a name more people should know too, right? The guy who essentially invented the job title of inventor relations at Hasbro. He designed Fortress America, which is probably what gamers know him for.
Yep.
But he worked on everything. He fixed fucking Candyland. Like he's got his fingerprints on so many classic titles. I met him for the first time at the Gathering of Friends, Al Moon's Gathering of Friends, like 10, 15 years ago. I met him for the first time. Dude, man, all he wanted to do was gush about Chaos in the Old World.
Oh, wow.
like here I'm sitting there like trying not to like John the Floor fanboy all over him.
Yeah.
And he's like I just hope Hasbro. Tell me more about Chaos in the Old World, because apparently he just discovered it, and like a weekend or so before.
That's funny. That's fun. Oh yeah, look at that. I gotta play Unlimited.
Okay.
I gotta check that out.
Am I pulling you guys off track? Are we?
This is the track wherever we go.
Yeah. There is no track, Eric. There's no track. The only other thing we need to do is the top 5, and other than that, there's no track. But what were you gonna say? We've derailed a couple times, or we not derailed. We sidestepped a couple times. What were you gonna say about Star Wars?
Oh, I'm a fan of Star Wars. A capital F fan. And gosh almighty, they weren't good movies. They just weren't. Like, why can't we fucking admit they just weren't good movies? But You're allowed to love movies and not have to insist they're amazing. They're schlock B movies written by a way ahead of his time visionary, a really good writer for some of them, and a cast that was just so into it, and it caught. Like, I love it. It's formative to me. I watched Star Wars a million times. I will never not love Star Wars, but fuck's sakes, they're not good movies, and that's okay. Like, why are we so defensive about it?
I have a challenge for you.
Okay, and that's also not my cancelable take. My cancelable take's coming after this.
I do have a challenge for you on that, though. Now someone told me you said this, so maybe you didn't. Okay. But I once heard that you said that. It's leaving my head. Steve Jackson's games, Munchkin. That Munchkin was one of the best games because of how many people enjoyed it. So couldn't you say the same thing about Star Wars, if that's what you said?
No, it sounds like what I said, but it sounds like a reinterpretation of what I said. I do think Munchkin's a great game, but I don't like it. I very, very famously don't like it, but I do recognize it's a really good game. But my definition of a good game is like, I mean, I'm not going to be all postmodern, like there's no such thing as a good game, right? Like of course, like, but it's also not as black and white simple as like good game or bad game, right? But I would say if you put a gun to my head and said, game designer, dude, bet your career, is Munchkin a good game or a not good game? I would definitely put it on the side very heavily of good game, because by my definition, it fulfills the value promise that it offered players, right? When you look at Munchkin, when it presents itself to you as an experience, it gives you exactly that experience. It gives it better than any game I've seen, that, including of my own, that tried to fix it by making it more like like adding resource management or whatever shit, or like a deeper decision tree rather than making it all over the table, backstabby, silly. I'm even going to argue that the Kingmaker element of Munchkin is exactly the experience that's on the box.
So couldn't you then argue that the experience that's advertised on the posters of Star Wars is exactly what you're getting, and therefore it's a great movie?
I think so. You absolutely could make that argument. in Hollywood critical language, I don't think any of the movies hold up, except Rogue One, which is an excellent, that's just an excellent piece of film, and Cancelable Take. This is where you guys kicked me off the show before the top five. My favorite Star Wars movies of the nine of the Mythic Nine was The Last Jedi.
Favorite?
That's my favorite. It's become my favorite.
That's the ninth one is your favorite.
No, God, no.
No, 7.
Oh,
Eighth one. No, eight.
Okay. Right. I was looking like I know there is a boot button, but okay, so not the ninth one, right?
No, the ninth one is the only one I hate.
Yeah.
Hate?
Hate.
So you went from your favorite in 8 to the one you loathe the most in 9.
Well, because nine spent most of its experience undoing 8.
Right, undoing Johnson's. Yeah.
Right, and for the people who hated Rian Johnson, that's correct. Right, that they would probably love 9, although I think it's just bad anyway. But the and I'm not going to argue with anybody why I think it's an objectively great movie, but it was my favorite. It was the only Star Wars movie, A, that made me cry, and B, not the wow, this is so awesome, I'm weeping from the cinematics like Lord of the Rings,
but it touched
you, right?
Yeah.
But it touched me in a way that none of the other Star Wars movies did. And the last 5 minutes of that movie, and yeah, I know the casino scenes were stupid. Yes, of course they were. I'm not going to argue any of that. And yeah, Leia floating through space was schlocky, but it's fucking Star Wars. It's, the last 5 minutes of The Last Jedi would be the only, if I had to say, if you want to define what the Star Wars experience is, I would say the last 5 minutes of The Last Jedi is what. Is that
the fight between him and Luke and Kylo Ren? Is what you're talking about?
No, it's the denouement at the end, where they explain that that it's not about the dynasty, that the Force is about hope, and it's a flame that can be kindled and carried from soul to soul. That's to me, that's fucking Star Wars. But all right, bye everyone. I lost half of you.
No, you're good. You're good.
No, opinions are fine.
Yeah.
I think 8 people have made the observation, which I can't disagree with, that the entire story arc of Finn and Rose going to Canto Bight and the whole looking for somebody and running in a DJ and all that stuff, all of that would have been the exact same story if they just stayed on the ship and didn't do anything.
Yeah. It was I will not argue with anybody that all of that was done.
It was very weird. It was a whole Raiders of the Lost Ark argument, right? If he was never there, everything would have still happened the same way. And it makes you just go okay, well, is that good storytelling then?
No, it's not.
Question?
No, no, it's not good. I'm not even going to make the argument that Last Jedi is a good movie, but it touched me in more profoundly than any other Star Wars movie, including Return of the Jedi, which
it's got some great stuff in it, though.
Right.
Where are you? It's funny because we just went over this. We got raked in the comment section a couple weeks ago when we were going over we've been going over our favorite. We did our 80s, our top 80s movies, and that was awful. We had to do 10. But now in the 90s, we're doing our top 5 of every year. Mm-hmm. And we came up with was it 91 that had Hudson Hawk?
No, it was 91.
91. So 91, we did our top 5s, and Hudson Hawk with Bruce Willis is by far a good movie. It is not, but it both hit us in a way we just remember it. It was who we were watching it with, or when we were watching it, or how old we were. It just made that impact for us when we were watching it. It's not a good movie, but it's a good movie to us. And that's the same thing. It's not a good movie, but it's a good movie to you. And that's all that matters.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was a horrible movie, but I love it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the nostalgia and what, how it hit me and stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely. I like a lot of trash movies.
Yeah.
They're not
It turns
predictable.
out I'm actually going through this right now because the movies, the anthems of our generation, I'm showing those to some of my like younger colleagues and younger friends, like Ferris Bueller's Day Off,
Mhm.
Heather's, and watching them just bounce off of
Yeah.
it. I'm like, wow, that aged well, didn't it?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
Evan,
these
this
movies
was
are my DNA, right? Like
this was
Breakfast
two.
Club. Like,
Yep. That was part 2.
Yeah, this was two. Just so you know.
uh-oh.
Actually,
Yes, this was the one with Danny Aiello.
it did. Yeah. They sang "Swinging on a Star." Yep.
Yeah,
Um,
one of the things, like, do they really hold up? Do those movies that we enjoyed back in the day like hold
Most
up?
of them don't.
No, most of them
I
don't.
will argue that Raiders does, even though blah 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 plot. But who fucking watches those for the plot?
So where are you as a Star Wars a capital F fan? Where are you in all of the stuff that we've been given since Disney's takeover? Have you watched all of
Almost
the
none of
series?
it.
Almost
Almost none
none
of
of it,
it.
really.
Very very little.
Did you
Because I
watch?
love Star.
Did you watch
No,
any of
I
the
just
animated, like the Rebels or the Clone Wars animated?
no. I mean, yes. So the weird thing is, so maybe I lose my fan card here. I love the myth making of Star Wars. I love those 9 movies. I adored Rogue One, but I didn't feel like I needed more. Like I was kind of like, I'm done. This is great. I don't need more of this.
Huh.
Um,
that's fascinating.
um,
I would tell you that the animated show Rebels moved me like you talked about being moved, and I think it's probably the most moving I've ever felt in any of the Star Wars, which is crazy
oh,
because it's an animated,
sure.
series, but uh, amazing stories are being told in that medium. So I'd
Oh
recommend it to
yeah.
anybody who's a fan. Sure.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah,
nowadays
legit.
it's like if my wife wants to watch it, I'll watch it. Like when it comes to Star Wars, because she certainly wasn't impressed by Star Wars, which she hates when I say that in public. But I'm like that's it's valid.
Yeah, there's no judgments here.
Her,
Nobody has to
her
prove
only
anything.
her only comment was when we watched A New Hope was like, oh, it was all right. I like the bear.
The
Like
bear.
the bear.
That was I was
Well,
like,
wait till she sees Return of the Jedi. There's a bunch of little bears.
well, I mean, she's seen them all at this point.
Oh,
But
okay.
but I just it just but you know those that color commentary that's like right to your heart. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
You know what you said about Rogue One being a great movie? I've made the statement that Rogue One is technically the best Star Wars movie, but it's
oh,
not
I
my favorite
agree.
movie. My favorite Star Wars movie, right? And there's a difference.
Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah, because my favorite's Episode 8.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not even going to argue it's the most iconic movie. Like, I'm not going to be that guy.
Yeah.
Like the most iconic movie is still New Hope. It's probably the one that's going to. It is probably the one that's going to live on, and it's because it's the most self-contained, right, of all the Star Wars
Sure.
movies. It's got the clearest beginning, middle, and end. It does the cheese better than any of the rest of them, and
Mm.
I actually think, oh God, I'm gonna get canceled again. I think Empire Strikes Back is a better written movie,
Yeah.
but I was more compelled by New Hope. Right? It's like yes. Um, I liked Genesis. I like Genesis's 5th album more than their most popular album.
Right. Right. We went over. I don't remember when
Chats
it
for
was.
chat.
If we went over our top 5 Star Wars moments, like those moments in Star Wars that have just hit you in the gut or stood out from everything else, and we've gone over this a couple times. I would say 3 of the top 5 come from Rebels.
Oh wow. Okay.
Like that's solid. Like
I
those
think two of
moments,
mine
they
came from
pay off.
Rebels.
So Filoni is brilliant, and they pay off so well that you're just like there are moments where like you said you were brought to tears. There are moments in Rebels that are just every time you know what's going on, and every time you get choked up. They're that good.
Oh wow. Okay. Well,
Amazing.
you sold me, man. I'll try it.
The first season's rough. Like it.
No, not rough, but it's a little light.
It's gamers,
it's
man.
light.
Fucking
It's light.
gamers.
Listen, it's light and it feels like
It's
they're
not
going
rough.
for kids.
You're really gonna like Monty Python. All you have to do is watch the 95 episodes you're not gonna like to get the one joke that's
No.
funny.
It'll come on. Give it time to grow. Like the first couple episodes, you'll be like, "What the hell is Mike talking about?" But then all of a sudden, shit's gonna happen. You'll be like, "Fuck, he's right."
Okay, because we all have so much time.
Right. To watch.
Right.
What is it? 4 seasons?
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna stop teasing you now. I'm not gonna stop teasing you. Come on.
No. Please don't.
Um,
But if we want to hop into the top 5 things that we're going to take Eric through that he doesn't know about.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to watch me. You got to watch me sputter and process a bunch of stuff in real time.
It's going to be a cakewalk for you. It's an easy. We gave you a softball topic.
This is probably why it's going to be hard.
No, it's going to be super easy.
If it's like favorite song or favorite band, I'm fucked. You know that, right?
Yeah, no, that's why. No,
we already had that conversation at the gathering, actually, but and you named them real fast, so I don't see why.
Yeah, but I'll bet you the list I give you today would be different from what I gave you then.
That's fair. That happens to me a lot too.
That was a cool conversation, and we were talking about music and everything. I forgot about that. No, do you want to know? Do we have a banner for it, or do you want to know what it is?
What is the most entertaining? You pick. I'll roll with it.
We want to know what your top 5 Erics are.
Top 5 Erics.
No.
How the fuck is that easy?
No, that's not the top.
No, we're kidding. We're not doing that.
Okay. Okay, because I'm like, I can't think of one.
No, we're not doing that one, but we thought it would be funny.
You know what's hilarious? You know where I immediately went? Eric Estrada. Was the first one I went to. I don't even like Eric Estrada, or like particularly fan or anything.
Look, there's Eric Bettinger, there's Eric Cancel, there's plenty of Erics to pick from.
All right, all the Erics in chat. Done.
There you go.
Yeah.
So there's 2 and 2 in the chat.
We kind of wanted to do it, but no, we're not going to do that one.
Okay.
No, that's not what we're doing.
All right, so you're first the cutting room floor, and now
Right. Also, it's good to see Eric. Eric with a K. Eric.
By the way, I love your last name because we were just talking all about that today.
All cancel Eric. What? Were you really?
What?
How funny.
No way.
Huh.
Nice.
All right. So our real topic.
Okay.
Serious topic.
Okay. Seriousness.
All right. You got the banner?
Like top 5
Yeah, I got it.
flavors of like octopus beard or something.
Nope. Just the top 5 elegant hobby board games.
Motherfucker, really?
There's a banner. Now, you can define elegant however you do, and then that way your list is there. Nobody can argue.
So I will start. I'm going to start this one.
Okay.
With a definition.
Yeah.
That I went with.
Okay.
I'll have a different definition, and you will too.
The one that curated my list, which I have 8 of, just in case there's a little bit of stepping on feet. Mm-hmm. The definition that I used for elegant was pleasingly graceful and stylish in appearance and manner.
Oh, that definition of elegant.
That's what I used.
Huh.
That's interesting. I went with a different.
That's not like this sort of. That's not really the BGG. I actually like that definition because that's a classical, like that's a literally classical definition.
Yep.
Like when you think BGG, like the way BGGers would be like games that have games that have much richer decision space than cognitive load or cognitive load is not even that than rules load. That's the elegant definition of elegance.
Yeah.
I'll give you a spontaneous definition that I'm going to use today.
Okay.
But I actually want to hear Chris's.
Oh, well, I really do like yours, Mike, because you're adding everything, the visual components, the art and stuff like that to
Hmm.
it. And the
Hmm.
only thing I really focused on in mine was or basically how the rules were designed. So the harmony of
Hmm.
rules,
Hmm.
rules working with rules in a very natural harmony way, right?
Hmm.
Like if you tell me one rule and then you start to explain the second part and I can finish your sentence because I know the first one, that's elegant to me, right? It just makes sense as you're teaching it. You're
Hmm.
getting people nodding their heads and they're ahead of you as you're
Mhm.
teaching, that kind of thing.
Yeah, when I
Okay.
first started thinking about it, I went to Moonrakers and I went to Fractured Sky, and my head was going around like components and the beauty on the table, right? Table presence, something like holy that's really drawing your eye to the table. But to thinking about it more, that's not necessarily elegant, right? Because it could just fumble through itself, right? It could be a shit
Hmm.
set of rules, and it could look really pretty on the table, but it's too much rinse repeat, and it's too much of king making, or it's too much of whatever. And I'm like, okay, well,
Hmm.
there's got to be something better to do here. I really like this topic. This was really cool.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I don't have this list in the chamber, so we're gonna process this out loud in real time. Um,
All 15 of our games are going to be graphically designed by Matt Paquette and company. Just they're all going to be games that Matt has touched in
Oh,
some.
graphic design
okay,
done by.
and I do love that you qualified elegant hobby board games. So Go is off the table, Poker's off the table. Great. This is great.
I said that specifically. I said we got to put the word hobby in there, otherwise he's going
Absolutely.
to go checkers.
Right. Well, and I'm even going to exclude mass from this. Mass, the way that hobby games defines mass, which is
Sure.
bullshit, but that's fine.
Okay,
For now, we'll leave it on the table. So we'll go hobby board games, capital H hobby board games.
hobby board games.
Um,
All right.
how about this? I'll use this. It's got to have the designer's name on the cover. We'll
Uh,
say, okay, all
that's
that
a
in mind. Um,
hmm.
wow. And I'm going to have a different reason for each one of these. So can I give them to you in no order, or do I have to give them to you in order?
I
We'll
don't put mine in order. Chris
we'll
Yeltsin,
do them.
my
Yeah,
top.
I put them in order, but
Okay. Well,
and
so I'm processing these in real time, so I reserve the right to edit in real time while we're talking about this.
of course
But here's a couple, and by the way, I'm not looking, I'm not Google searching or anything. This is all from top of mind here.
we'll do them. We'll do like top five. Like I'll do five, he'll do five, you do five, then four, four, four. We'll like spread them out. That way you'll have
Okay.
time to think about it, right?
Okay.
Do you want to
Okay.
lead, Chris, or do you, Eric? Do you want to lead?
How would here? I'll set the stage. So
Okay.
I'm going to say for number 5, I'm going to say Takedo for number
Ooh.
5. Um, because for a number of reasons. It is that game is a approachable Euro game that catches a vibe unlike almost no Euro games that I've seen. So like you look at the cover, right? Everything here works in tandem. I'm not even talking the deluxe edition, right? Just the basic retail edition. The vibe that this promises, what you see on this box, right? I'm trying to coin a word, serenitous, but you know what I mean, like journey across across Tokaido,
Hmm.
where when you are playing the game, you can't help. And I played this game with, I played with Gamer Bros. I played it with like everything less than a Grickle is not a game. I played it with like I played it with folks that are oh, I only like Magic the Gathering games where I can kick my opponent's ass. And I played it with like uh, um, anyway, I played with a lot of people, and they couldn't help it but just get into the vibe. The game just invites you into
Mhm.
that. Yeah, absolutely, Andrew. It's cozy before cozy, right? And I'm going to argue that so I don't think the rule set is super elegant. Sorry, Antoine, but the game is great. I think that like an elegant rule set, in my opinion, is dogmatic anyway, right? Like why I love your definition, Mike, is that it's got to be everything, whole package, right? And the inelegance here, I don't know how conscious or unconscious it was from Antoine, but Like, so the fiddliness of having to go to put the piles together. It's so meditative. Like setting this game up already like puts you in the mood, right? And every time. And it's one of those few games where, like, if you gave it to me and said, Eric, fix this, we're usually I'd like, all right, I'm going to try to cut setup. I'm going to try to reduce fiddliness where possible. I'm like, no, not in this. It just works. I'm finding 50 ways of saying it puts you in the right headspace. I love this game, and it is of all the games that I feel like are essentially gamified vibe checks. I think this is probably the simplest and most approachable. I think.
Wow, I'm jealous of this pick. I should have thought of that one. That's a good one.
It's a good one. It's on my list.
It is on your list or not?
Yeah, Tokaido is on my list.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I mean, there's 5 I want to talk about, and that was a backup. So.
Yeah,
that's me.
I just played this like a week ago again.
That's a good one.
I heard there's a 2-player version. I'm not sure how much I want to play it because I'm a little worried that they fixed things about Tokaido that I didn't want fixed. But,
well, the 2-player version, and when you play 2-player in this one, you have to play with a dummy figure.
right.
So that does make me want to play it.
Right.
If you didn't have that change of rule, then I probably wouldn't need it. But
right. Well, I mean, I'm guessing it's a different game, like Splendor Duo but anyway, that's yeah. I'm always I'm very often eager to play it.
Have you played the new one that they have at Nemiji? Yeah.
Yes. I don't remember much about it. I'm really sorry.
It's very familiar. I mean, yeah, it's very
clever. It was clever. It was pretty. But it didn't hit me the way Tokaido did.
Yeah, I can see that.
It felt like a better. It felt like a game designer's version of Tokaido. I mean that in the not necessarily the most complimentary way, but I found a way to make the decisions more weighty. But I didn't want that out of this experience.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Cool. Yeah, good pick. Mike, you want to go next?
I can. Yeah, you want me to?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So why don't I start with? I'm going to start with the shirt I'm wearing. I'm going to start with Sagrada.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
I mean, it still is one of my favorite games. I think there's a sense of completion when you get your 20 dice on your tile. I think the presentation is beautiful. I love the way that they even thought about each of your little player boards fitting and the color cascading from, like, if you look at that player board, there's the color goes from left to right, and then the next player board would go from left to right, and it actually, like, thematically works. The rule set's super simple. It feels familiar. The idea of it snake drafting through, so it's not taking too much time for you waiting. There were a lot of things that Daryl and Adrian put into this game that makes it sing, and I think it still holds up even with the 5 and 6 player expansion. Like, if you want to add other stuff into it, but this game in itself is super simple. I always enjoyed teaching it to people. It was super easy to play. It was easy to teach. You're up and playing it really quickly, and there's just this beautifuln's when that stained glass window is done. Sure, there's the puzzling nature, and there's the idea of it. You have the three gems which are easy and the 5 gems which are hard. But the simple rule set of, like, no similar number or color can be next to each other is the hardest thing you really need to teach in this game. Otherwise, it's just approachable for so many people. You can even remove stuff from the game to play with a younger crowd. So when I start playing with the kids, like, this is one of the games I'm going to go to because you can just take out a couple things that it breaks the game from a gamer's perspective, but the fun factor of this game is still there. You're still creating this really, like, that is, if that's not a red 6, that's actually misplaced. And as a curse in my head from this for demoing it for so long and teaching it for so long, every time I see a window, I check to make sure that it's and
It is a red 6. It's a red 6.
But yeah, Sagrada has been a favorite of mine since it came out. Obviously, Floodgate Games. It came out in 2017. I was there with the team when we were still prototyping it from a Gen Con perspective, like showing people a prototype of a 3D printed grid that Ben had done to show off the game before it was even out. So this game has stuck with me. I love it. I adore it. And I think when I think of that definition of elegance, right, it fits. It's super smart, even with everything pulled into it. And there's a lot of stuff in there, right? Each of the facade expansions has 3 modules that you can or can't use. And like, you can pick whatever you want to play in this game. Cards you can add in to make it more challenging or less challenging. Like, you can curate this thing to be whatever your game group needs. But it in itself, base game Sagrada is just a beautiful game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't disagree. Great pick.
It is. So ironically, Mike, bubbling under my list, I was going to name Azul, and it's really like Sagrada is. I like the theme of Sagrada better than Azul. The gameplay of Azul, it hits me a little. It's mean, and I like mean drafting games. So that hits me. But it was bubbling under. But Sagrada is a great pick. I mean, it was also it was made by it's also made by a good friend of mine. So but.
Yeah, and this is not because I was with the company for a while or Daryl.
Yeah, it's just a good. It's just a good game.
It's a beautiful game. Yep.
It's a yes, and I love that it really exemplifies your criteria, right? Like where the whole package works together.
Yep, graceful and stylish in appearance and manner.
Mm-hmm.
Because it really
I'm going to break that rule, by the way, for a bunch of games on my list.
That's fine. I'm going to break one hard. It's going to be a hard break.
Food chain magnets.
Leave it to number 1. There's going to be a hard break later.
Nice. Good.
Well, don't worry about that, because you guys have set the stage, and I'm about to fall off of it.
Oh, perfect. I love it.
Because this is not going to fit within the same realm. But with my definition, it kind of fits. So my number 5 is Civilization Under Dawn.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what I was saying before about what I was looking for is like whenever rules work with each other to where it all makes sense whenever you're teaching it. Mm-hmm. There's never this like a lot of if-thens and stuff like that. When I teach this game, all I have to do is just teach you one rule set, and then you're basically hooked in. Everything else just kind of hooks onto that one rule set, and you're done. And if you haven't played this one, if you played Arc Nova, it does the same thing where it has 5 cards in front of you. You're going to choose an action, and the cards are sitting on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 space. If it's on a 5 space, you get to do it at level 5. If it's on the 2 space, it's level 2. Then it moves down to the bottom, and the other ones move over. So once I've taught that, all you have to care about is what's on those cards, and they all work so smoothly together. And every single one of those 5 actions are balanced in a way to where if you focus on this side of on this card versus this card in your game, it all comes out to a very balanced and level game. And for a Civilization game to do that and still feel like you did a Civilization game, this is a intricate but elegant design for me.
Interesting. Yeah, I am shocked that a Civ game made it onto this list, which is interesting.
This would be the only one that would make it on this list.
Okay, that's a strong statement. That's great. That's one of the reasons I love about like conversations like this, right? Like, I love how different our perspectives are. It's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't know that this Civilization game had that selection process where if you pick the card in 4, you do it at a 4 strength. I love that in games. That's a really cool, because that's a whole nother puzzle in itself, and that makes me want to play this.
This would be if you've ever played the Sid Meier Civilization game before this. That's not New Dawn.
Yep.
That someone took the computer game and tried to make that a board game, and it is the most tedious, convoluted thing you've ever tried to do, because you then have to be the computer to do all the stuff, right? And so this is the the positive version of what happens when a game designer gets a hold of a game and changes it. Because this feels like a game designer came in and said, okay, what if we took all of this civilization stuff and tried to make it as neat and easy, and I can teach it in 5 minutes, and you still get the feeling of civilization.
That's cool.
So yeah, that's my number 5.
Good pick.
So number 4, Mr. Eric Lang.
Oh, me, hi. All right. So I while you were talking, I did write these down. I reserve the right to blah blah blah. My second one here, and I've ordered them now. So this is
nice.
my number 4.
Okay.
Is probably a crossover. Is For Sale.
Oh, wow.
Pandora.
All right, good pick.
Still to date, my favorite auction game. But it does auction games in a way like there are some auction games that are pure, like that twist auctions enough, or that put the hobby sauce on in a way that is like as overall, like Raw, for example, by Richard Garfield, by Reiner Knizia, is actually my favorite auction game personally. Like I would play Raw any day. And I like it more than For Sale, but I think For Sale is more elegant. Also, I'm borrowing your definition here. For Sale, the way that the auction, the way that the two auction phases work, right? First, we're going to auction for houses, and then we're going to sell them for the right market prices. Like it gets a lot of metaphor in a really abstract game. Now I know that there have been some rethemes of it. I'm talking about the original For Sale.
I'm trying to find pictures of the original. There we go. Barely.
Yeah. So buy properties, sell them for whatever market values happen to come up. It exemplifies for me what I loved about the '90s style of Euro games, where they were yes, they were like they feel like metaphor was important still back then to them, right? Like you could still, it wasn't only about how interesting the decision can be. It was also about like, how does this come together as an experience in the cleanest, most elegant way. The teach is very simple. It's not super intuitive. Auctions are not ever intuitive, but it is simple and sticky. Very few people once explained the rules. Very few people will ask, like, I don't know what to do again. Because you can sort of hook the narrative, the metaphor onto there. I played this game hundreds of times. I'm still not bored of it.
Yeah.
Whereas
it's also one of those games that you pick up real quick, but you want to play again the second time right away, because then you're like, oh, that's the sort of like a no thanks thing. Yeah.
Right, and it feels like a classic game, right? Whereas like I know there are a lot of games that do auctions that again add like, oh, we made the decisions more difficult, or it's more clever, or we added more sauce on it. But I haven't played an auction game that, including modern art, which I do like, but that feels as classic a game as this one does.
Nice.
That's a good one.
Was it a crossover, Mike?
No. I unfortunately For Sale was ruined for me because I played For Sale in the same evening that I played Fist of the Dragonstone, and I love Fist of the Dragonstone.
Okay.
So I always gravitate towards that one more. For Sale it's a good game. I like it, but if it came down to it, I would rather play Dragonstone more.
I've never played that one.
That's a good one.
Yeah, Dragonstone's a very Tragedy of the Commons loot splitting game. Sorry, nope, that's Dragon's Gold. I'm so sorry.
No, yeah, different. It's a bidding. It's the same kind of thing where you're bidding and you're getting some shit, and then you're using that later on, like 2 phases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I have a story about that, by the way. I was working with FFG when we were pitched Fist of the Dragonstone. We turned it down before Days of Wonder got it, and also same with Shadows over Camelot. Got away from us.
Wow.
And I'm glad. Like Days of Wonder did those games the justice that honestly, like FFG was amazing at what they did, but they were not prepared to make BMW style
Right.
Euro games. So I'm glad we didn't get it. But we did play it. We did play it a bunch, and we did. I liked it as much as you did too. 50-year-old me likes it a little bit less than 30-year-old me, because 30-year-old me was like, "Oh yeah, the special powers, yeah!"
Mhm.
Like right. I'm a little bit more like in my decrepit old age. Like I like the classic feeling a little bit more. Says like the co-designer for Terra. I know.
Sure.
The irony is not lost on me.
Sure. Yeah, I think that when we think about like what hits us, right? Like you talked about episode 8 touching you, like what hits me in the games. I never gravitated, like I wouldn't gravitate towards this type of game because I can't
Right.
get into it. Just becomes abstract for me. It's like, okay, I'm going to do a thing to get this thing and then use that thing. But like the Dragonstones one was like I can wrap my head around this fantasy world of like us trying to like we're all in a pub and we're all trying like the Red Dragon Inn, like we're all there trying to drink and we're doing this thing and we're playing this age old game of whatever. Like I think if I had played that one first, then this one, maybe it would be a different ending. But playing that one second, it just elevated what was going on in the bidding system for this for me.
Yeah, you need more fidelity in your metaphor, right? That
high fidelity.
It's like that's part about this. You're like our feelings are all valid, right?
Yep. Damn, absolutely. Yeah, Shadows over Camelot is fantastic.
Oh my God, how ahead of their time was that game?
Oh God, it's so. I never played it with the Merlin expansion, but the base game itself.
Was me neither. I never felt like it needed an expansion.
Yeah,
I played with it and it's okay, but it doesn't like. I'll go back to the basic one without.
Right. Yeah. I still loved so much Shadows over Camelot that that the game could end without a traitor and they lose.
Yeah.
Thousands simultaneous chef's kisses. Something I feel that a lot of the successors have missed.
Well, that's what Kevin did so well with Stuff of Legend, to plug a little bit on the 3WS side. Depending on the number of players you're playing with, and that game goes 3 to 6, you could be playing all on Team Boy, and there is no boogeyman Team Boogeyman in the game, and you could just be questioning each other because of movement, because you've seen certain stuff and you played games with other people that translate into this game. Like, no, you're a fucking liar. Like, I'm not going to trust you. It does it so well. And all of a sudden you find out, nope, the boogeyman card was out of the game and we were all on the same team. And the game was punishing enough that it housed us.
That's fun.
I regret not being available to work on that game. I love that comic so much.
He did such a good job. I think, obviously, to think of good things that came out of COVID, to be able to, because they had, before me, because I came in when that was first on Kickstarter, before me, that thing was set to go. And from what I understand, with COVID, they pulled it, and Kevin could reread the series, or at least books 1 and 2, and make sure like all of those stained abilities and passive abilities really adhered to the character and why they would do a certain thing. And Kevin is so amazing at what he does. It comes through so well in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Eric, I will never ever trust you again. I'll just say this: we not after that play that we had.
Never
he was a traitor, and he was the best traitor I've ever been up against. I think.
Oh, and the thing.
Brutal.
Yeah,
that was brutal.
We were playing the thing.
Oh.
Yeah, we played this 6-player game, Eric, at the Gathering. Even Andrew would come over while we were playing. But we played. It was Diana and Dave, and I don't remember. It was you, me, Eric. Who else was there?
It was Di and David.
West.
And West
playing as well. We played a 6-player game of The Thing by the Op. It was epic. It was so good.
He tricked me. So
yeah,
that's
totally did.
Yeah, great pick.
Good pick.
Mike, what's your number 4?
I don't have a number 4, but the next one I'm going to talk about will be a game from 2012. Oh, I didn't talk. Sagrada was 2017. I don't know if I said that earlier. This one is going to be from 2012. We'll test your knowledge of years and publishers. It is by AEG. or most known to be by AGE
Oh, okay.
or
Yeah.
AEG, and it's Love Letter.
Yep. It's Love Letter. Did you know
It
that
is-
Insane Kittens did a version of Love Letter just recently? We can talk about that afterwards. Sorry.
Oh yeah, please, I want to know. Because there's been a couple of this, right? Like the Love Letter system has been used. There's a Batman one.
There's
There's
a lot, yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of them, right? And there's a couple different iterations of it. But I think thinking about this definition, and I like Love Letter. I like what it does in its simplicity. Like it's literally draw a card, play a card, done. Like easy to teach to people. You're gonna read what's on the card. It's kind of like if you played Heroes of Arcadia, the game is meant to be understood inebriated. So everything on that card is literally like it's easy to understand. And the way this game works is it really is that simple. You draw a card and then you play one of your cards. And what you're playing, like it has some text on it and you're going to do that thing. And if you're last person standing, great, you win. And then you get a thing and keep going. And I think in this definition, this is one of the best ones that fit it because the art is beautiful. There's a whole bunch of them in that. I think they have it on the bottom there. I don't know if they call it the Tempest series, but there's Courtier. There's a few of them with this art style in, I guess, an overall narrative in certain games. But in its appearance and in its manner, like this game fits so perfectly well in that definition of elegant. It's easy to understand. It's beautiful in its execution. And I don't think there's another game out there that's as beautiful as this game. And
the felt bag it comes in.
The felt, yeah, sure, right. Unless you get one of the boxed editions, but yeah, you get that felt bag, which is really cool. It just seems like even in that, it becomes a piece of the lore of the game in that bag, right?
Yep, absolutely does.
I don't think there's a game that does it better. If I were to link them or rank them, I would probably put this one up number one because I think it fits that definition that I'm using to a T.
So that's your number one.
It's not. I'm using it as the next one I'm talking about. But I really do think like any of them, right? Even the Batman one, where like that one, it uses the same system and it's Batman themed. And there's, I think 2 or 3 others that come with that felt bag that use the same kind of system.
There's like 20.
It's ridiculous how many there are. Right? Even I think Munchkin has one, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And so some of them, there's a Marvel one that's really complicated.
Oh,
so that's Uno.
No, there's a Thanos one. There's a Marvel one. There's a Star Wars one, right? Where you're Jabba's bounty hunters or whatever, and it's trying to get out. There's a bunch of them. But I think even in that, there's an extra rule or two in the Jabba one. And I think it's Jabba's palace or whatever. There's an extra rule or two you have to teach in that game that it gave it a little bit more. I think this one in its simplicity makes it what we're using as elegant.
Right. And here's to put a bow on that. The designer, Seiji Kanai, I met him at Tokyo Game Market I don't know, several years ago. He's like such a gentleman. Like the only way I can describe him, a gentleman. Just like really, he seemed like if you picture in your head, right? If you build a headcanon of what would the designer of Love Letter be like? Your imagination serves you correctly.
Nice.
It's good.
Great game.
Also,
Okay.
yes, I forgot Brett and Laura were part of it. It was an 8-player game of.
Yeah. Yeah. They were to my right.
Yep. So Love Letter.
I didn't trust either one of them.
I wouldn't be able to talk about elegant games if Love Letter wasn't on the list for me. It's not one I go to often. There's another one on my list. Maybe I'll talk about it next. That I would go to more often, but Love Letter is.
I want to guess that one, but we can talk about that after.
You might be able to guess it actually. Love Letter's just got that thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So my number 4 has a few more rules than Love Letter.
We're sensing a trend.
Few more components. It does come with a caveat though that. The game, as it is in the rule book and everything, is what I'm putting up there. But at the end of the rule book, they have a lot of mods that they add on to it, and I'm not counting that because It was extra stuff. But my number 4 pick is Taverns of Tiefenthal.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
So if you play the base game without the mods, and I do like the mods and stuff, but for this pick,
Right.
this is what I would do, because it's it's a deck builder, but it's not the cards don't have all this text on them and stuff that you have to learn different rules for every card and all that stuff. You just go through your deck like this. You know exactly what you're doing. Fill up your tavern, do what you can with that, and every side part that how it works. Like you can upgrade the different bits, flip them over. Those all work exactly the same. They have different kind of mechanisms and what they work with, but they still, you teach the one rule of you pay it, upgrade it, you get to do it better. That's all you need to do. It's real fast to teach. I haven't ever had to repeat a rule once people get into it, and you all kind of do it together, so it just feels like it's another one of those, whenever I start teaching the game, people just kind of naturally, they catch on. There's no question. Wait, what if I did this? Or what if it just makes sense.
Good pick. Yeah, Wolfgang.
Confession.
I mean, that same year that came out, didn't Wolfgang have like 5 that were just bangers? It was ridiculous.
Yeah, he had a hell of a. I think it was a 2-year spread, but he had a hell of a 2-year spread.
Yeah.
So confession, I haven't played a complete game of this. I was taught a game, and I remember I think it was at the gathering actually. We started playing it, and I had to run, and we never got back to it. It was no fault of the game. It just
did you finish at least one round?
Unfortunately, I don't remember enough.
Okay, because if you just finish one round, then you know the game. You just it's a repeat kind of thing
Sure.
But it gets better and bigger with you. But yeah,
right. The funny thing is, like, so I for big box, like Wolfgang's big box games, like Quacks just completely dominated my mind share for his games. I didn't even look at his other big box stuff.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and check it out.
Oh, look at the little drinks they have on here. That's cute.
It's really, it works in your rule set too. Like everything literally flows, right? The guests come in, they sit at the table. You're trying to serve it all makes sense. This game flows really well.
Somebody made their own insert stuff. I like seeing all this new stuff and all, but it doesn't help with the show when I'm just trying to show the game. Yeah, that's all this is all you have to concern yourself with, is this little tavern bit.
Yep.
You're
running a tavern.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Cool. So on to number 3, or third one to be mentioned if you're not doing in order.
One side note: have you? And I guess this goes for you, Chris. Did you play this with the expansion?
No, not.
I have no idea.
I haven't either. I like the idea that the expansion box actually fits on, like, if you think about the box cover art, you have the Taverns of Tiefenthal, which is there, and that's the box art. And then the expansion comes in and actually sits on top of the box. Like, it creates an art piece that's
pretty cool.
That thing and the top, like, sitting on top of it. It's pretty neat.
I like when they do that. I don't believe I will play with the expansion. Like, I'll try it if someone has it, but I'm not going to get it. And it's because, like I've already mentioned, they have mods that you can add to it. And I've never felt like those are needed. I've played with all of them, and I think they're all clever and good, but I always revert back to the original game. It's just clean.
Yeah, I'm just curious if it's worth the effort to add that.
I'm sure it's a great experience, but because I know what I like, I'm probably not going to.
Yeah, same. It's got that kind of feel, right? Canvas is doing it from side to side. This one's doing it with the main, and then there's like the above it. There's a top part. It's really cool.
They did that with what's not the Golem edition, but the
Century Spice Road, right?
Century Spice Road. Yeah, they did that too. I thought that was clever.
You want to talk about stellar human beings? Emerson.
Oh my God!
Nicest humans I've ever had the ability to talk to.
And so humble. Oh my God! Like, somebody, like, I almost hate him a little bit. Like somebody, like somebody that smart also being that humble, it's like what I don't know what infants he consumes. Like, but
My first year at QSCon, I reached out to him and I said, "Hey, I'd love to have you up here because he's not that far away, right? I mean, he is, but he's not that far. He's in Jersey, and he's yeah, I'd love to be there, but I can only be there Saturday because of family, whatever." He drove in the morning, came up to the con, spent the day Saturday, did a panel Saturday night, and drove home Saturday night just so he could come up. And he would take time to like talk to you, like literally talk to you, not just like, oh yeah, thanks. I'm glad you like my game. Like have conversation with such an unbelievable human.
agree, strong agree.
Yeah.
Emerson Matsuchi is one of my top 5 elegant board games.
Ooh.
There you go.
It's all, you know what? Ooh, Foundations of Rome might have made my list if it wasn't for that production. I'm so sorry, my friends at Arcane Wonders. Jesus Christ, but it would have made my list if it wasn't so overproduced.
Well, the Foundations of Metropolis is supposed to be different.
That's the New York one, right?
Well, Metropolis, but yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that one. I've never gotten to play the Foundations room because that was
it could be a spiel
was too much for it.
In
Yeah,
my opinion,
but
it could easily be a spiel.
At the other one,
yeah, it's beautiful.
And,
I mean, it's nice. It's really pretty, but yeah, it's got a lot. It's got a lot of stuff that doesn't need to be there.
Nice.
Yeah, it's and look who you're talking to, right? Like ex-CMON guy, right? And I'm proud of my CMON time, but Jesus Christ, man, that like give me half the components, make it pretty, make it haptic, make it beautiful, but not like there's
yeah, but Shannon's got it. Also, hi Shannon and Corey, who's above. There's multiple camps. I don't want to make it like there's only this or that, but there are different camps in board games, right? There is the overproduced, give me all the stuff, right? Give me the Rising Sun, give me the Ankh, give me the minis, give me the towering, give me the Cthulhu Death May Die thing, right? Give me that stuff. But then there's also the elegance of just give me the simplicity of it. And I think it's good for no matter what you like, it's good for everybody to have stuff that's overproduced with all the good shit. And then there's stuff like Silver and Gold that's flip a card, literally dry erase on your card. Like minimalistic, small box, easy to take, and big stuff that just has all of the stuff in it.
Well, and a lot of us are on both camps, honestly.
Oh yeah,
there's some where I'm like, oh, this is overproduced. Yeah, it's not worth the cost. And then I'm spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a bunch of mini Marvel characters, So
100%. For me, it's about context. It's all about context. Like what kind of game experience do I want out of this? And in some cases, like in that one particular case, I felt like I would have enjoyed the game more if it was less unwieldy to put to the table, to bring to the table. Because I would play that because it's a 30 to 45-minute game. I play it over and over and over and over again, and it's so good. I can't stop talking about how good that game is.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have affected my, like I said, I haven't played it. I don't think it would have affected my gameplay in a negative way with all of it. I just can't afford that much money for that.
Well, also in a box that size, it sort of promises a particular game weight, right? And it's not that weight, not even close. That game is real. I mean, I'm not going to call it a light game. I'm not that guy, but it's much lighter than it looks.
Yeah.
And I love it. Like I avoided that game because I saw a box that big. I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to play like a big box brain burner like that. But it's not. It's like it's just.
Well, light game's not an insult. That's a good thing to a lot of people. Like game's good. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
Yeah.
But I'll say.
Oh yeah, sorry, we digress.
We'll digress. I have a comment.
Sorry, where are we?
Later.
We're on your number 3.
Yep.
My number 3. My number 3 is it's almost interchangeable with number 4, depending on what mood I'm in. Is I'm the Boss by Sid Sackson.
Oh.
This one I think is elegant and one of my favorite games of all time. It's not for everybody. Sorry. Inside Out. Not that cover.
Not this cover?
I don't know what cover that.
Wow. Let's see.
Yeah, no, there's a better one.
Yeah.
I mean, the cover's not amazing.
No.
But
Yeah.
That's a new one?
no, I haven't. It's not my favorite cover, but like the cover. It's not like Tokaido. It's not like it's not like a beautiful. It's not a beautiful product match, but the gameplay. I don't know if anybody who is not. This is a game I will make sure any aspiring game designer should play. It is the best, in my opinion, is the best pure negotiation game that I've seen come out of the hobby market. It is. It has a little old school feeling to it. It's a fucking roll and move, but it leverages it really well. And of course, it's Sid Saxon who basically invented board game design as we know it, right? But so I don't know. I don't know how many people in the chat know about this game. Basically, it's roll a die, move up pawn to the next deal to be made, and there's a bunch of money on the table, and you need X number of characters to come to the table to get that money. The person whose turn it is can make deals with people who everybody has different characters, control of different characters, and you have some sort of old school, like almost take that cards that like will temporarily shut out other people or add other people to the game. But all of that is done in the service of making a deal. That's all. The whole game is like, get to this deal. There's $10,000 on the table. If you bring these 3 characters between us, who's going to do it? The person whose turn it is has an incentive to make the deal so that they can get some money out of it, right? Otherwise, they don't get anything on their turn. And the deals get so emergent, like, and so creative that from a rule set that is 1 page long, that you get unbelievable amounts of gameplay and like veil piercing gameplay. Like there are people who play this like, oh my god, I can't believe games can do stuff like this. Because in negotiation games, there's a lot of hive mind that goes on, right? And so when one person gets really clever, it inspires other people to get really clever, and then you go down this rabbit hole of how can we orchestrate these really amazing kind of real world deals. Anyway, I can't say enough about this game. I've played it hundreds of times. I will play it any day of the week, and it is not for everybody. I think the game holds up today. I would hold up against any negotiation game. It's one of the games that make me think that most games are actually a little over designed. Because this game just does so much with so little. But it's also really intense. It's really, really, really intense.
Nice.
Is that the cover you were looking for?
No.
No, I think that purple one is the one that's most known. Not that. Yeah, that one where they're all around the table.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Purple. The one color that's in the background that's like 20% of the box art.
I mean, the interaction in this is player driven, right? It's all player driven. Where the modern version of game design is more scaffolding to keep players from interacting quote unquote negatively with each other, which I get it. I understand why they came into place. I just think we're way overdoing that now.
Man.
Hey, Aldi.
Hey, Aldi. You took that picture?
That's funny.
Huh?
Anyway, that's my number 3.
Nice. What's your number 3, Mike? Or third one to be spoken of.
Third one that I will talk about, but that threw a curveball. Bringing that one in.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Now I'm starting. Remember you said about real time and adjusting and blah, blah?
Uh-huh.
Yep. But I'm going to stay. Oh, do I do that one? No, I'm gonna wait. All right, I'm gonna go with not the one that I think Eric can guess, but I'll go with one from 2014 that is 2-player only, and it's from Arcane Wonders.
Oh. I might not know this one.
Mage Wars?
Nope. Onitama.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Onitama.
I didn't know it was an Arcade Wonders game.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
It's part of the Dice Tower Essentials.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a great game.
It is. It's got stuff that you can add to it. It's got the Sensei's thing. It's got the way of the whatever. It's got extra stuff you can bring into it. The box itself, yep. Eric had said it earlier. Eric had said Onitama earlier. The base game itself, right, with the mat, like it's got this magnetic box. You open it up, and it's got all the pieces in it. You kind of feel familiar with these pieces that remind you of chess.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's got this mat that fits in the box that you roll out, and you set up your board, and you set up your. But then there's this deck of cards, and you're shuffling out 5 of them. You have 2, your opponent has 2, and there's 1 off to the side. And on your turn, you pick a card, you do the thing, and you swap it. You're basically picking a card that you're giving to your opponent.
Mm-hmm.
And on the card are these shaded areas that you're going to move a piece to. And the idea is similar to those that understand chess. You're trying to take down or be the last person, take down their king, right? But the choice in what card you're picking is so important because you're giving that to your opponent. So you might want to sit on a card because you don't want to give it to them because you don't want them to have that power or that ability or the ability to move in that direction. It's got so much of a chess feel to it, but it's so much easier than trying to teach everybody how chess works. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful game in its presentation, in the pieces, in the fact that you fit the mat in the box. Like that's something that doesn't go unnoticed in this one, right? That's very, oh my God.
Yeah, it feels it's got that vibe of like it feels like an ancient game, right?
Yeah.
Like you open it up and you play it before the aristocrats that you were there and try not to be beheaded. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, like Tichu, right? Tichu seems like it's an old style game, an old world game, and it's not. It was like 91 or something. It was much more recent than Tichu feels it should be, and I think it's based on a lot of on an older game, but Tichu the game is fairly new. It was 90s, early 90s. As far
to be fair, that was over 30 years ago.
Don't even. Who are you?
Oh, all right. Next.
You stop.
Next.
But yeah, Onitama. It's got a bigger box expansion, and then it's got those 2 little expansions. So like, it's got stayability in. All right, if you're playing it with the same person, you've got a lot of variability in how you want to play it. But also in the base game, you're only playing 5 of the cards it comes with, right? You've got 2, they've got 2, and there's 1 off to the side. So even in its base expansion or base edition, there's so much replayability, and it changes quite drastically in the cards that you can use.
Mm-hmm.
I love the art style. I love the pieces. I love the quality of everything in it. And I think from open to shut, this game fits that definition of elegant.
Yeah, I agree. It's a nice product.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I did play it. Like, I have a problem with perfect information abstract strategy games. Like, just personally, like I respect them, but I don't enjoy them because they feel like work to me. But if I wasn't a game designer, I'd probably like them more.
But even in the perfect information, right? Like, whatever card you're giving to the other person, you can plan ahead. Like, all right, if I give them this card, they're going to be able to move their pieces this way.
Right.
But you have to pick something. You have to pick one.
That's what I mean.
Right.
So that's well, like I like games with a lot of hidden information, which probably explains my list a lot. Right. So that to me it just increases the. I like games with a little bit more human element and a little bit less cognitive element.
Right.
So like the more the more the character of the game changes with the player that you're playing with, the more I enjoy it, generally speaking.
So I think if you were to throw in the Way of the Wind with this one, you're adding in a player screen with some hidden information that changes the game drastically.
Oh, sure. Cool. And by the way, luck is hidden information, right? So like that's
Sure.
I'm saying that broadly. So
Absolutely.
it doesn't just have to be like hand of cards or whatever, right?
No, but I think this one, with everything being open, you're forced to make a decision.
Oh, absolutely.
So even in the 2 cards you have, and you know the one you're getting because your opponent just played one. In the 2 cards you're getting, and knowing that you're getting one, you have to play one of them, and both of them could suck. Both of them could put you in a position that's like completely defensive. Now I'm going to have to re-strategize, and something's going to happen. But they could fuck it up. You could fuck it up. Like there's still, there's so much in this game. It's pretty friggin' deep.
Absolutely.
Nice.
So yeah, Onitama number 3, or the third one that I'll talk about.
I feel like you're going simpler rule set, and I'm going the opposite direction.
Completely. Yeah, it's really funny how we're doing that. Yep.
I mean, I'm probably like staying in the same zone as what's happening, but it'll get heavier. So my number 3, this one's in my top 10 still, I believe. That fluctuates a lot. But yeah, I've loved this game for many years, and it's Cyclades. Or Cyclades, depending on... Cyclades. Yeah, so in the game where, you basically... Everybody has to bid to take on an action, and every single one of those actions is something that you need. Might not be exactly what you want to do at that point, but even whenever you get another action, you're still advancing forward, and it's either win by this or this. The philosopher way, or the building of the building, what do they call them?
Monuments.
Yeah. Or Metropolis? Metropolises?
No, it's monuments. To my
so
first player to build 2 monuments, right?
Yeah, it's the one. It's the one where the all the cities come together, right? You build 4 different types of things, and it comes together as a Cyclades.
Nice.
But again, it's to my definition, it's I teach you that we're all going to do this, and then everything fits neatly into that rule set. It's even got, it's got contentious area control, which I don't generally like. I like area control, but not whenever it can be lost and gained back and forth kind of thing. But this one, just because I like the decision space of, do I spend so much now to make sure that I hold on to this action and then I'm weak the next turn, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it's like I said, it's in my top 10, if not real close. That fluctuates, of course, but yeah, Cyclades.
See you in a couple days, Steven.
Nice, Steven.
Or Cycle Ladies.
He's gonna find us a butt tattoo place in Columbus.
Do it.
All right, so now we're gonna do number 2.
Just to stop you for a second, they had the redo of this one, the reprint or whatever. They had it on the quite often on a table at the gathering. It looks pretty. Looks really pretty.
You missed a conversation, yeah.
Oh yeah, Eric.
It's in the lightning round if you want to go back. So
the internet.
Yeah, I haven't seen the new. Yeah, I haven't seen the new version, or obviously. So
it was really weird to see it in a regular size box. Like I'm used to Cyclades being in the longer, right?
Yeah.
With even the expansions, and this one was in just a regular 12 by 12. But the art looked stellar. It looked really good.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Number 2, Eric.
Oh, number 2. So for me, number 2, almost interchangeable with I'm the Boss. Like I could change my mind on which is which, 3 or 2. Also a 90s Euro game. I'm showing my my colors. Oh, I'm sorry. This is an 80s game.
What?
Not
Even
90s.
older?
80s. Late 80s. By Wolfgang Kramer.
80s Kramer.
It won a Spiel des Jahres. I will. I'm not going to keep you in suspense. It's Heimlich and Company by Wolfgang Kramer.
Oh wow.
Yeah, one of my favorite games of all times.
84.
This game rated, of course, it's rated fucking 6.5. Of course it is. Not enough rules, but
Hey Scott, you can get in there and fiddle with the numbers, right?
This game for me is a rare 10. I will always play it. I'm in a shootout with the military. You pull that out? Ew. Oh, sorry. Jeez.
Don't like that version?
No. Undercover. That's oh yeah. Sorry, I always forget the English names for this. Undercover was one. They had another name. The Rio Grande version. What the heck was it called? You'd know it. You know the English name.
Detective.
Sorry, I have to look it up. Heimlich and Company is the German name. So I learned it in German. Top Secret Spies is the English name.
Yeah.
That's a fairly pretty version. So again, roll and move. But this is the game that invented what we call secret unit deployment and I'm going to tell you the whole rules, all the rules. It's a game where there are 7 different spies. There's all 7 different spies of 7 different colors with big meeples. I can't see them in that picture, but yeah, they look like that. On your turn, you're going to roll. You're going to roll and move. Oh, everybody's assigned a secret spy. And you want that spy to earn the most points. So this game invented two things that we take for granted in board gaming. It invented the score track around the board that was invented by this game, and also invented secret unit deployment, or not secret unit deployment, that's Stratego. What the fuck we call that mechanic? Secret identity, hidden identity game. So you are not secret, not social deduction, but everybody's a secret color. Nobody knows what color you are. On your turn, you're going to roll that die, and you're going to move. It's a 1 to 3, a 4, a 5, and a 6, or a 3, 4, 5, 6, something like that. You roll the die, and you move any number of those pieces forward on that track to a different house. And you see those houses have numbers on them. That's how many houses that person will score if you end your move on the same space as the safe. See that safe in that picture there? The safe is on number 5. So let's say that person will roll a die. And so let's say I rolled a 2. Cool. All right, I'll move the blue guy onto the safe. That'll trigger a scoring event. And the red guy. So everybody that will then score as many points, every color will score as many points as the house they are currently on. There's also a 0 and a -3 right after the 10. And then the game ends when one player has crossed 100 points or something like that, or 60 points, I remember. And then everybody reveals their character. So that's it. Those are all the rules. And then the highest score wins. But of course, all of the game is dynamics. Very little mechanics, but it's all dynamics. And it's so pure. And you cannot help that. Like this mechanic's been done in many more complicated games, but this is it distilled down to its essence. And so much gameplay comes out of this. You can't help it. You cannot help but role play. And it feels like a secret spies game. Nobody knows what color I am. And I actually play with a house rule where when you get 3/4 away, when somebody crosses the 2/3 of the points, everybody will then guess. We'll guess what all the players are. And at the end of the game, if you get them right, you get a bonus 3 points to your score. That's an optional rule in the game, but I play with that all the time. It's amazing. Yeah. So you want to keep yourself hidden so that other people don't keep screwing you, because if you reveal yourself too early, blah, blah, blah. Dynamics that the gamers kind of already know, but this game invented them, and I still haven't seen it done better. A lot of games I've played that use this mechanic have a lot of extra chrome on top of it. But the purity of like, I've told you the rules, now just explore this game dynamic. And it's again so over the table, and it forces people to be fun, which is something I don't see in more tightly designed games. I love this game, absolutely love it, and it's not for everybody, right? It is a hobby game. The rules are simple, but it's a hobby game. You have to invest to get the max out of this.
Yeah, I'd like to play right after you.
We need to play this.
I'll play with you at any con.
Okay.
Awesome.
I don't own this one.
Oh, that's the one you don't own?
The one I have in my collection is this game. Yeah.
That's the one you're missing?
It's the one. Wow.
Yeah, that seems pretty cool. I would try this. Well, why are there two? Why is there a small one and a big one?
I don't know.
Oh, they have two different boxes. I guess they're showing two different versions.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one piece.
Yeah. Nice.
Is that not that I'm keeping records, but is that the second roll and move on your list?
It's the second game that has roll and move in it. Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
I'm not saying roll and move is my favorite mechanic, but I'm not against it.
I like how people shit on roll and move. Like, I'm not a big fan of roll and move, but I look at certain games that have it, that do it, I don't know, a little bit differently, right? Like,
Sure.
There's a game, it's not a good game at all, and Upper Deck probably shouldn't, I don't know, maybe they should just stay away from making board games, but they have one that's okay. But they did one that's called Quest for the Antidote.
Sure.
That I loved because of the idea of it being a roll and move, but then you had these breaths, and you had 50 breaths to find the antidote, get back to the apothecary, and save yourself because you were poisoned. But then it was a roll and move, and every time you took an action, you took a breath, whether it was fighting a monster or moving or whatever it was. And they did roll and move in a little, like Fireball Island is a roll and move, and I adore it because of its nostalgia. But something that does roll and move in a different way is fantastic.
If games are music, roll and move is just a G sharp major chord, right? Like you can't say I don't like G sharp major. Like no, like it works in a song that it works in a lot of pop songs. That a lot of them are timeless.
Yep. Wow, good pick. That was nowhere near my. I had no idea that was a game. It's
fantastic. I think if it came out today, you get a lot of like, nah, it's like too much negative interaction, or it's but and it's probably, and unfortunately it's too opaque for what we call mass. So I don't know how big it would be today, but I mean, so many games. I mean, the designer of Wolfgang Prummer's like my career wouldn't exist if it wasn't for this guy.
Right.
And I think most board gamers like wouldn't have most of their litany without his designs. Like most of his shit came out when there was like invented the mechanic that is based on, or the genre of game that it's based on.
Wasn't he the inventor of the score track?
Yeah, in this game.
Like Kramer track, right?
This game is the one that
that's what I said.
Was the first appearance.
That's one of the reasons why I love doing these lists, because then someone says a game that I haven't heard of. There's so many thousands of games that it happens almost every time. So
that's right.
Unless it's Mike, and then I know all his games. Actually, he's taught me a lot of games.
Yeah, that's not true.
Yeah, I bought many games based off your recommendations that I didn't like.
Yeah. No, I'm saying what you said initially was not true, because definitely, you like some of the stuff that I put out there. All right. Well, the curveball is about to happen. I really wanted to go with this one, but Eric made it very hard to not talk about this one.
Oh boy, I love this.
I mean, there's two, and I don't think either one of them can knock off the one I want to talk about. It's really hard now. I have to switch. All right, so Eric.
Hi.
Just make a note that you forced me to switch off of one to this one.
All right.
But the one I want to talk about, you probably would have been able to guess.
Okay. I'm a manipulator.
I'm going to one-up you on Sid Saxon.
Ooh. Oh, are you gonna say choir?
I'm not gonna say Acquire.
Bizarre?
Nope. I'm gonna go 1980.
Oh my God. Wait, no, 1980.
Yep.
Okay, so it's not Can't Stop.
It is Can't Stop.
Can't Stop is what? Can't Stop is 1960.
It says 1980.
You could be right, but
It
hold
could
on.
have been earlier. I'm going by what has been curated for us. That's
Okay,
the
got
newer
it.
edition by Eagle Griffin. I'm not a huge fan of that one. I like that it's got a neoprene mat, and I just don't appreciate, like, if you're playing with someone that doesn't necessarily roll properly, they could roll onto the mat, knocking your pieces off, which is
Right.
wow. If you go with the
Right.
original version that has that nice chunky that stop sign,
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing to do. So it's aesthetically pleasing to have this stop sign there that's reminding you can't stop every
Oh
time
yeah,
you roll your dice.
agreed.
The other players are also reminding you can't, just one more, just roll again, one more. What's one more? And the game's taunting you, and the players are taunting you. But it's also got this big plastic chunky thing in the center that if you do roll your dice, they're gonna hit it, not hit your pieces, which I adore. So this version is the version that, if you're gonna try and seek it out, the Can't Stop version by Eagle Griffin is fine. This one I think is the one that just does it a little bit better.
Agreed. I think it's a lot better, to be very honest, for all the reasons you said.
Okay.
Oh, and the title. The title is gold.
Yep. There's no, I can't say anything bad about this game. At the Gathering, we closed down the hall playing this game every night. And it wasn't like, oh, we got to play this again. It was like, no, go get it. We're done. We got to play
Can't stop playing. Yeah,
No,
this is
brilliant.
still my favorite push your luck game.
It is brilliant. I love everything about this game. It's easy to teach. There's a very small rule set. There's really nothing that isn't out of bounds for people to like wrap their heads around. I think Sequoia does it also pretty well. A newer game by All Play or Board Game Tables, whatever they're all play now, where you're rolling 5 dice and you're pairing them into 2, so 1 dice isn't being used every round. This one you have 4 dice and you're rolling them and you're pairing them up. And if you have a thing on it and you only have 3 things to put out there, if you have a thing on one of those tracks, then cool, you get to move your bid up. And the first person to take over 3 of those columns wins. And it's 30 seconds you're up and playing. And it's just, Mountain Goats is garbage, though. Sorry.
Well, Mountain Goats Can't Stop with more rules and less depth.
Yeah, it's not. I played it with Alan, actually, at Alan's apartment, and it was just like, all right, that was the thing we did. Like, I think Sequoia offers a lot. In that group that came out at the same time, it was Mountain Goats, Sequoia, and GPS. And I think Sequoia is the winner by far. GPS is okay. Mountain Goats is garbage. Sequoia is beautiful. But Sequoia takes a lot of what it does, and Mountain Goats does too. Mountain Goats obviously does, but Sequoia takes a lot of what it does from Can't Stop, the way that you're rolling and you're pairing up and you're putting your things out there. It does it differently than Can't Stop. But there's such a pressure in this game to be like if you got your middle columns, right, your 6, 7, 8s come up a lot. Right, 7 is the most rolled number that you can get. So sure, there's a big column you got to do with, but man, those 2s and those 12s. If you get a 2, can you roll again and just solidify that 2? And if I stop now, you lose all of your progress. There's such a thrill in this game that I don't think has been, for me, met in any other game.
It's the push your luck distilled down to the bare bones of what that is. Yeah,
he invented push your luck.
Well, right.
This is my game. You just talked about playing. I'm not on the bus. The last one you talked about, that you would play that anytime, anywhere.
Yep.
This is my game that I would play anytime, anywhere.
It's on my and in fact, the only reason this is not on my list is because I forgot, and that's. I still think, this probably, objectively speaking, should be on the list instead of I'm the Boss, because it just appeals to more people. Like, it appeals to a broader audience. But I'm the Boss just, like, this was a life-changing game for me.
Sure.
This is a game I just love.
Yeah, this is when I think of this. I mean, you can't not talk about Love Letter in my interpretation of what's going on here. But Can't Stop was right there. Once I started figuring out like the elegance of the game is just it forces you out of that. Well, no, I want to stop. Yeah, but you can't stop. Great.
Agreed.
Yeah. My favorite thing about this game is putting the horns on and trying to get someone to keep going. Just one more. You could do it if you do this. It's the little convincing.
Because you would stop.
Yes.
But you're going to try and get somebody else to bust, and then it doesn't go in your favor, or it does, and there's those moments of holy shit. Like, it's just, this game is great. I think if you can get your hands on any version, there's the one that's I think it's I wish Bob was in the chat. I don't remember if it was Korea board games or it was out of Japan, but there's one that's a little bit more compact with this magnetic box that makes it more of a mountain. So it's like you're climbing a mountain, and it's the same thing. It's the same concept, but it's more compact. Get your hands on any one of them. I prefer this one just because of like having that stop sign yelling at you the entire time you're playing.
I agree.
Brilliant. But the Eagle Griffin game with the it's much more portable with the mat. I just if you have people, or you have a dice tray, like put a dice tray off to the side that people have to roll in. Cool. Then you don't have to worry about people knocking your shit over. But get any version of this game and play the hell out of it. It is great every time.
Yeah, I agree. I think maybe. Sorry, I'm thinking out loud. I think the only reason, like, this is almost a mass game to me. Like, not in the sense that it's a little opaque, so it's not like immediately obvious how to play well immediately, but it's so close. Like the only, I don't think of it, even though it had his name on the cover, I'm not 100% convinced. I think of it as a hobby game. It's a classic game to me.
It is. I think in its teach though, you can get around that what you're talking about, right? If you in your teach, you explain to people, look, the reason 2 and 12 are on the outside is because they're harder to get, and the reason 7 is this long column is because it's easier to get. That'll give them a little bit of a clue of like, oh, okay, so if I'm in the middle, I want to be there because those are the ones that'll be more prevalent. It'll take longer, but I might roll them more often.
Exactly. Just remember, the teacher doesn't come in the box, though, right? So that's right.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yep.
Great pick.
I'm actually jealous of what Eric mentioned was Acquire, because I was thinking, man, I would have loved to put that on the list. But in the alternate universe of this list, I'll say what my number 2 is, because it is a different field than everybody else's. But again, I'm going with, I did not go with light games. I went with games that I felt like were intricate but elegantly balanced. So mine is one that I am confused that a lot of people just don't know about. It needs to be talked about more. And I couldn't even find it at the gathering. I was looking for it again because I wanted to play it with John, and unfortunately I hadn't brought it back. But Passive Light and Shadow is my favorite deck builder. And the reason why is because, first of all, it's a very simple idea of either going light side or dark side in what you're doing, right? And so you're playing cards, deck building, you're in a spot, so you take a card from that spot. And then you pull your cards just like any other deck builder. You do the actions in there. But the thing is that it has this whole promotion or culling thing with it, with your cards, where I've seen other games, and I'll even admit more, not lighter, but lighter rule set, right? That have done this where you could teach it a lot faster and stuff like this. But what this does is whenever you promote a card, you get rid of that card and take the one that's the next step up, basically the better card for it. then you're heading towards the light side. And whenever you cull a card from your hand, you go towards the dark side. And I love the mismatch, like the not mismatch, but the matching of that theme along with the mechanisms, right? So like it feels like when you're cutting your cards down to be just the the tightest little grouping of good cards, you have to go dark side. But if you're inviting everyone into your kingdom, anybody can come on in. You have to kind of deal with some of the people you end up pulling into your kingdom, but you're also getting all these points from being on the light side.
Yeah.
I just thought that in this case, the theme and the mechanisms mesh so well that I added it to it.
Yeah, you're on point with what you've been picking for sure.
Yeah, it's all in the same. Yeah, but it feels like a separate list, but that's fine.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, I have Rice's copy, and Rice has a copy of your game, Troubles, with both expansions.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Wow.
What about you, Mike? Or wait.
No, it's you.
So that was, so we're down to number 1.
Oh, all right. So my number 1 is, I cheated a little bit.
Don't worry, I'm going to cheat in the next one.
Sweet. Cheating is great. Okay. Full disclosure, I did work on this game, but I didn't design this game. I worked on a new version of this game. So I'm actually going to submit the original version of this game, which is Lord of the Rings: The Confrontation.
Oh, good one.
By Reiner Knizia. That game is so one of the best things that, like, when you see IP games, right, licensed games, right, like there's the best ones I've seen take an angular take on it, right, like because Lord of the Rings, the board game, is gonna, like, and by the way, I actually like that one a lot too, but like I loved when I'm saying an angular look, it has there's an angle to it, and Lord of the Rings: The Competition was just like straight up, we're gonna make Stratego at the Lord of the Rings experience. That's the
not that one.
Yeah, that's the LCG. Lord of the Rings: The Confrontation. Came out in 2000 something.
2.
Originally by Cosmos. That's the original version. FFG did a version with better art. Well, in my opinion, better art. Chris Peterson and I designed the side 2, a second version of this. I actually prefer Reiner's version to my version, but the people who like more complicated, like more CCG-like stuff, will like the other side. I love this game. It is, when I say it's Stratego Lord of the Rings, that's what I mean. Stratego Lord of the Rings. But it's fantastic. It's a two-player game only, light side, dark side. The light side is the Fellowship of the Ring, and each character has their own ability and a number, which is their strength. The dark side has also 9 characters, which pretty much who you expect, right? And each one has a unique special ability, but they fit the story, right? And you play Stratego, so you're going to move a character up. And sorry, I'm over-explaining this because I'm gushing about the game. Because I forgot, not a lot of people know how to play this. The 2 goals are asymmetrical. The goal of the light side is to get Frodo with the 1 ring into the last space, the opposite side to Mordor. You get him there, you win instantly. The bad guys have 2 ways to win: either get any bad guys into the Shire, take over the Shire, or kill Frodo. That's it. But every character has a unique ability in the game that sort of what the scaffolding of the game is based around. So, like, Merry kills the Lich King, instantly if he finds him. No fight, even though the Lich King is a higher number, right? Legolas kills the orcs. Gimli kills the orcs. Gandalf. Sorry, and there's other things. You also have a deck of cards, a hand of cards, numbered 1 through 6 for the bad guys, 1 through 5, and 3 specials. That whenever you share space with an enemy, so if you advance into an enemy, you reveal which characters you are. Check for insta death because some characters auto kill others. But then each one of you will take an unplayed card from your hand and simultaneously reveal it and add it to the combat. Once you've used that card, it's gone, and you cannot reuse them until you've used all your cards. And it's just, I've so much, like, yes, it's so much gameplay comes out of this simple game, but it's also so much metaphor comes out of this simple rule set. Like you get those Lord of the Rings moments from fucking Stratego. It's mind blowing to me. I played this game hundreds of times. I've worked on this game, which usually kills a game for me. Like the number of times I can play it. Even with all the development trauma of this game, I still love it. I play it over and over and over again. And I do prefer Reiner's original version. It's a little bit, it's more classic feeling. But if you like it a little bit more crunchy and more collectible card game, might like my version better.
When you say Reiner's original version, you mean the green, like Lord of the Rings, the board game?
Wait, so in the FFG, sorry, this game. So this is Reiner Kniz's design.
Okay.
But FFG did a new version with more digital art and yeah, that's a Japanese translation, but yeah, it looked like that. And Fantasy Flight added a entire new characters, a new version of each of the characters, and that which is a whole new game.
Yeah.
And a new set of power cards. And that version of the game was the same, just a slightly different experience. It was a little bit more crunchy and has a little bit more my CCG DNA in it. And I know there are players who preferred that. I'd prefer the slightly more classic one. Also because, I was a fan of this before I worked on it.
Right.
Nice.
I love the green box, the Fantasy Flight green box, Lord of the Rings, the board game, the cooperative play co-op. I love
originally by Hasbro, by the way.
Oh, was it really?
It was Hasbro did the first print run of that. FFG won the license off of them by convincing Sophisticated Games that they would do a better, they would pour more love into it.
Huh. Yeah, I love that version.
Yeah, it's a great game.
Yep. Yeah, good pick.
Mike, your number one?
My number one is going to cause a problem.
I've been causing problems throughout the whole list. I don't know what you're going to.
Yeah, mine's definitely going to cause a problem.
I love causing problems.
No, it's definitely going to. It's definitely the oldest one.
Ooh.
Yep. And I think it doesn't necessarily epitomize the definition of graceful and stylish, but it's from 1956. And
it's not a hobby game.
No, this is where it's going to start. Yeah. It's not hobby, but it's used. Okay. It's been used in so many. Like it was the groundwork for a lot of hobby games using this mechanism. It's Yahtzee.
Oh.
You're fired, Mike.
Yep. I know.
You're fired.
I know. But
it's
staying power to be used in so many games. Yeah, sorry. Andrew got it. And there's a delay, so Andrew got it.
You're fired, Mike, not because I think Yahtzee's amazing.
Sure.
It's amazing. It's a classic game. It's not a hobby game.
No, it's not a hobby game. But it's been used.
That's why you're fired.
No, and that's fine. That's fine.
If you had said King of Tokyo.
Nope.
Right?
Yahtzee, it's not an elegant. No. King of Tokyo is not an elegant game.
Oh, yes, it is.
Yeah, I would agree it is.
It's got player elimination.
So?
What's inelegant about that?
No, in my
that's
definition.
If anything, that balances with what you're fighting. You're fighting giant monsters. Of course, somebody's going to get
Sure. To each their own.
You just don't like it. That's fine.
No, I do. I like King of Tokyo very much. I don't like player elimination, and I think you could get ousted really quickly. and then
Yeah,
have
you
to
can.
sit there and watch other people and not participate in the fun. And that's what I don't like about it. But Yahtzee in itself how quickly are you playing this game, right? You're rolling, you got 2 re-rolls, you can keep whatever you want, you can re-roll whatever you want, and then you're trying to get one of these things. And you may have to know poker hands, but other than that, you have this score sheet that has 3 and 2 and whatever you're doing. I think this is the one that would get me in trouble. But I think because of it, it's been used in so many games moving forward that I think it has to be talked about.
Sure. I think it's an amazing game. I almost consider it a folk game at this point.
Sure.
Because
original rolling.
Because shameless plug time. I mean, one of the big games that I'm doing with that I'm releasing this year, Wrath of Fire Mountain from Game Right, designed with Phil Walker Hardings, is Yahtzee at the core, and it's the only game I'm doing this year that borrows directly from another game, because because it's a folk game. I'm like, and it's Yahtzee exactly, no twists, the engine of it is Yahtzee, exactly Yahtzee.
Sure.
Just because we were we wanted a drama engine we wanted a drama engine that allows us that is free, right? We can just say it's Yahtzee. Now we're going to play an area control game, right? I didn't want to do a twist. I wanted to do a twist on something, but a twist on something that everybody knew. And fucking love. I've designed so many Yahtzee Plus games because Yahtzee is amazing.
Well, it helps with the luck too, right? When you're rolling a die and you don't have any way to mitigate a bad roll, this gives you a little bit of that mitigation of all right, well, but then you have the choice and it's your fault after that. I'm going to keep these 2 5s and hope I roll more 5s, and then you don't roll more 5s, but you also had the opportunity to keep 2 2s and you rolled a whole bunch of 2s afterwards. It's only your fault for whatever happens afterwards. But I think it's brilliant. I think it's a beautiful game.
It's high skill and high luck.
Yes.
I love it. I'm a Richard Garfield school where I don't consider high luck a deterrent at all.
Right.
Poker is my favorite game of all time, high skill and high luck.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, for sure. It's got both.
Yeah, you're a cheater though, Mike. We're scratching that from the record.
I told you I could not
games.
Talk about Yahtzee though.
Hobby.
There you go.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, it's used in so many different games where you can just keep and re-roll and keep and re-roll. I love Ancient Terrible Things, but the one thing it's missing, and I think to its benefit, is that you can't re-roll the dice you roll. You roll and that's it. And if you want to re-roll, you re-roll everything. You can't keep shit back and roll what you want to re-roll. This benefits me, so let me re-roll the junk. In Ancient Terrible Things, you re-roll everything. And I think it changes a lot. I mean,
it's a different game. It's a different game. It's not a gambling game then, right?
Yep.
Well, I get to end the list with something that finally connects with everybody else here.
Ooh.
Because mine is a dice game.
Finally, a dice game from Chris.
It is the lighter of them. But I just played this again this weekend and was reminded by how much I love this game. And it's got a DNA of Yahtzee in it. And it's also a remake. What was it?
Is it Strike?
It's not. It's not a remake. It's a dice version of another game.
Bang the Dice game.
No? I haven't played that one actually.
That's fantastic.
This one is Istanbul, the dice game.
Oh my god! I was going to use that in my example. You were talking about the Yahtzee game where you can only roll once. That's Istanbul, except you have to spend resources to reroll.
Right. Exactly. So you don't get the reroll right away. It's a little gem that you can get, and you can earn those powers to get more of those gems, or spend some of your rolls to get more gems. This one, I love Istanbul. Istanbul probably in my top 10-ish, somewhere around there. The original game. This one though takes all of that and boils it down again to, your turn is what, maybe 60 seconds and you're done, but you feel like you did all the same stuff as you would have in the other game because you're basically just trying to earn 6 gems of these red gems. And you roll the dice, use the actions that you can get, and then you can buy these little tiles here that give you different types of actions or more things to start with and so on. It's so easy to teach, so easy to learn and get into. I wish that it played more than 4 players. It's weird because Istanbul, the original game, plays 5. And so they went down to 4 with this one. It feels like you could play with 6 players because it goes so fast. But I wonder why they did that.
It's probably cost of goods, to be honest.
Yeah, just to keep it a smaller box. And it is a little bit smaller box. Just a little bit, though. But well, even if they came out like an expansion to make it 5 or 6, I would get that because I want more people to sit around the table and play it. But yeah, this is definitely the lighter of the ones. I thought it was great that you did Yahtzee. I was like, oh, good. Finally, I can connect my continuous connection of my crazy list. So
from the beginning, Yahtzee was going to be the last one I talked about, regardless of what came up. Like that was going to be the one I closed with. So
it's funny, Chris, that you just described very elegantly why I like this. I like this game a lot. I actually like it better than Istanbul, exactly because of the way you described. I like that it gets. I got the sauce from Istanbul, but with less like overhead.
This is my Rogue One to my Episode 4. So this is a more elegant game than Istanbul, the original game, but I like original because of the nostalgia for me of loving it for so long.
Sure. Well, and some people just some people prefer. A lot of gamers prefer process, right? And I this is true. It sounds insulting, I think, to people because some people get defensive when I say this, and I don't mean it that way. But there's a lot of gamers that just prefer process to strategy, and that's where a lot of complexity in games come from. They enjoy the process of deconstructing this engine. How do these mechanics intertwine to do? But the strategy isn't super extra deep. It's just there's a lot of extra layers of mechanical not player dynamics, but mechanical dynamics that you have to unravel. They love that stuff. I prefer games a little bit more pure, where it's less about learning how to deconstruct the engine and more about let's get to the player versus player interaction as quickly as possible. Mm-hmm. But maybe I'm just dated.
Well, you're probably dated.
All right. Well, that's our top 5. Was it top 5? We did 5.
It was the top 5. Eric, I have a question for you though.
Yeah.
So before I pivoted to Can't Stop, Sid Saxon's Can't Stop, I had another game in mind that I was going to talk about.
Was it either Coup or the Resistance?
It was not.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good pick, though.
Yeah, good pick. It's one that we've played that I've been dying to play again. It's one that we've played together. It's strictly cards. It's early 2000s. There's
Kashanked.
What is it?
Kashanked.
Nope.
No.
There's 64 cards in the deck.
Oh.
There's 8 cards of 8 different types.
Did we play it together?
We may have.
Okay.
One of my favorite moments in gaming is playing this game with Eric.
Wow, I'm so sorry. I don't remember your favorite moment. What game was it?
Cockroach Poker.
So
I think that it's not for everybody, right? It's got some of the things in it that not necessarily is not on a lot of people's I can do that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But Cockroach Poker, did you just put this up? Cockroach Poker,
yeah.
I think is brilliant in its execution. I think it does everything that it's supposed to do in that game, and the brilliance and the manner in which you slide a card over to somebody and claim it to be something that either is true or is a fucking lie, and that person either has to believe you knowing you're a fucking liar. I think that game is it's so great. You brought up On the Boss by Sid Saxon, and I had it when I was thinking about it. Can't Stop just edged it out for me that I wanted to talk about Can't Stop more than Cockroach Poker. just because Cockroach Poker has a little bit more to it for some players than Can't
Sure.
Stop does. Can't Stop
Oh,
is much
Cockroach.
more approachable.
Cockroach Poker is a top 5 game for me. It's a 10. I'll play anytime. But yeah, the teach is hard. It's a hard teach. It's not intuitive.
No.
I hate to admit that because of course I've internalized the game, right? But
Of course.
yeah, it is very opaque. And that game actually, I feel like I grew a lot as a game designer from hitting that point, going like, wait a minute. Because when we think about our favorite games, we're like, oh, this game could be mass market, this game could be broad. I'm like, no, this game can't. It cannot. It's not. And I played this game with a lot of like smart people who can play fucking Minecraft and Roblox. So it's not that they're like they get games, but it's just opaque. It's not leveraging any knowledge that they've already got, and that it's not sticky, right? Like the so many times you have to re-explain over and over and over again that core loop.
Yep.
Right. But yeah, that's right. Oh, my favorite was my favorite moment. This is a stink bug. It's for Googs, and it went all the way around the table, and you got it.
It went all the way around. Yep.
That's right. I love that. It's fun.
Oh, it's great. But you're right. It's not very intuitive in its teaching or its understanding, because it's like, okay, here we go. You're going to claim it to be a thing. Cool. You get your head around that. Then you're going to give it to somebody, and then that person has this. They can do this or that. If they do this, they then can do this or that. There's a little bit to it, but
there's a flow chart. Right?
Yeah,
there's a flow chart. Gamers have internalized that, but yeah, and it's a nerdy flow chart. It doesn't actually really super flow. Justin and Gary did a game called Bad Beats, which is sort of Cockroach Poker meets Coup. I didn't like it as much, but it's probably a little more approachable.
Yeah, a little bit. I think Andrew's got a good point here. You don't necessarily have to force people to lie. You could win that game telling the truth. And it actually behooves you to tell the truth, because if you're not good at lying, then why lie?
In our game at the Gathering, Eric chose not to look at it ever. And that was a horrible way to play.
Oh, it did make it more simple. It's so brilliant when that happens, because you're like, wait, what? Because it's on you. It's off the other person. It's now on you. It's so smart when that happens.
Oh yeah, yes, I love it. Well, because basically what you're doing is you're just offloading the decision space, right? Like, oh no, it's you against him. I'm not even gonna look.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do agree that forcing that game does. It forces people to lie, but it forces them into a uniquely difficult type of lie, because they can screw up the mechanic, right? Yep. They can screw up. Oh shit, or they can screw up the art, right? Don't get me started on Decrypto.
Yeah. I agree with this assessment here.
Ooh. I enjoyed Decrypto, and would never bring it to the table.
Yeah.
It is one of the most opaque games I've ever seen. Even though I liked it, but I played it, I think 5 times. I still could not teach it to you. I still actually don't know how it plays.
Wow. I had the same issue.
Yeah, it's so not sticky. Guys, I'm really sorry, but I've got to go soon.
That's fine.
I got an early morning meeting.
Yeah, we ended it all. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, this was fantastic. Eric, thank you so much for taking the time. I know I'll see you in a couple days.
Absolutely.
This was fantastic.
Yeah, thanks for having me. We'll
everybody say hi to Eric at Origins.
Hi at Origins. And let's, dude, we'll play. I'll play Hammock and Company with you.
Oh,
I'm not bringing my copy, so we'll have to find one there, because my copy is the original.
Oh, don't do that. If we could find a copy there, I would love that to be a birthday gift to play that game.
Oh yeah, I mean, I bring a lot to that game, because I love it so much. But it's I think you'll enjoy it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in for sure.
Very cool.
Good stuff.
Eric, thanks so much. It was fun.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for watching. Leave comments. Tell us what you think is most elegant game.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah.
And hit the notification bell.
Bing, all that stuff.
I'll see. Oh, hey, Tony.
And here's a word from my sponsor.
I'll see a lot of you at Origins, and then a week from now, it'll be a show that I don't know. I don't know what we're going to be doing. It'll be fun, but I don't know what we're doing yet. So,
Thanks, Andrew.
Yeah.
yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks all.